Hello and welcome to Starbase Expanded, episode number 33. We are here today with Event Dudes. Hello, dudes.
Hey, good day. We got so much to talk about. A lot of exciting off-site pictures, some boat, ship stuff. Lots to show you.
Absolutely. We've also got Lawrence with us. Hey, Lawrence.
Howdy, and yeah, lots of stuff been going on this past week.
And I think we got Jake as well in the background. Welcome in, Jake. You're welcome to chime in as much as you want, as always.
Yeah, hey everyone. As you said, I'll probably just chime in from time to time, and yeah, let's see how this goes.
And as dudes was saying, we got a lot to chat about, so let's go ahead and just dive right in. We're going to start nearest to Brownsville and work our way out towards the launch site. So this is the airport. We've got the airport lot here in the background. And as was just being mentioned, this little plane that kind of looks like junk here is something that is usually used by firefighters and other crews to check out emergency situations, correct?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Most airports will have something of that nature to play with and go through emergency procedures.
And we appreciate that little bit of information at Alaska. And we've got another building starting to be erected up front here. No clue what it's for, but right here in the background we have our good old airport storage lot. Not seeing a whole lot change here this week, honestly.
So, as we discussed last week, we had the skids and all of the other valves being taken out of that middle tent. I have not seen where they went, so they actually disappeared, and they're clearing out that middle tent. We can kind of see opening into it. Yeah. So I was curious about those valves. Otherwise, like you're talking about, yeah, and we always get a little sneak peek into the windows here. So they had about 6 or 7 of those skids, and they have valved their way to somewhere.
I mean, I would imagine inside, but you know, Not really
I would
100% sure.
Yeah, I would actually keep an eye out around Sanchez,
Well, we
especially with.
saw yeah
I
we
was
saw a
just
couple
gonna
of weeks
say,
ago. Go ahead.
uh, with what's recently been delivered to the launch site.
Yeah, we saw a couple weeks ago the pallets come out, and then they were doing something to that tent, and so I'm kind of curious if they have gone other places. But yeah, absolutely, we can keep an eye on Sanchez as well.
Yeah, so what did we see delivered to the launch site that we're talking about, Lawrence?
Some of those offload skids, the ones that were sitting next to where all the deluge, uh, the flame bucket pipes were sitting previously.
Out by the port?
No, at the at at Sanchez, right across from where they're building the OLM.
Oh, okay.
There's still some sitting there, but they've been starting to bring those to the launch site in front of the tank farm now.
Yeah, those would be pictures that I don't have currently. Otherwise, again, not much change here. Slight shifting of parts and pieces around, but nothing too major. Again, like Dude says, we're going to keep an eye on this tent. You never know, it might be leaving us permanently.
Well, I'm also curious about the 3 box fans that are round in their nature. Yeah, because they have to go at some point to get dispersion for nitrogen or whatever they're going to be dispersing, but be interesting to see where they end up at.
And didn't they just get here 2-3 weeks ago?
They've been messing around there for a while. I think we had 1, then 3, so it was kind of like, oh, we're going to do something, and then they just sat there. So
Yeah, again, I think those are going to be for the launch site.
Yeah, we can definitely see there's areas being cleaned up and cleared out. That's for sure. Some of these spots are not as densely packed as they were.
right, and we'll get to it at some point, but we do have another large empty site that we expect a lot of storage areas, so we might see a lot of shuffling in the next several weeks to months.
That's for sure. Speaking of one site, we've got the WW Steel site.
Yeah, never figured out. As far as I know, this is just leased by WW Steel. It has nothing to do with SpaceX. They just leased it themselves, as far as I can tell. But yeah, definitely a lack of steel these days. I love their coordination that they have everything just lined up on trailers. So whenever they're ready for it, you just got to back in, take it, and take it to the Gigabay.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff basically primed and ready to go. And then otherwise, not a lot sitting around. So we are getting right down to those last little bits. I had a little fun going through this lot earlier and looking at some of the vehicles he's got.
The side lot there.
Yeah. A couple Fox body Mustangs, actually worth a pretty penny. Got an older Corvette, Thunderbird, a few things sitting around. Pretty cool little lowered truck. Yeah, otherwise nothing too much of note here at the WW Steel lot.
Yeah, and I've said this before, but I'm curious if we're going to see some extra or more steel come in, either for their next project, which would be Giga something or other, or even Huddleston if it comes here, if that's what they're going to do, or if they're just going to close down once they're done.
Well, what's your over-under on it coming here versus probably coming to that long extended site that they're building out right now?
Well, I think the long extended, the Hatchet, and or the Gigalot, just because it's closer, and I'm feeling like WW Steel is not going to be on that next project. But if they do happen to get that land that next project at Huddleston, then well, might as well.
Which, speaking of the Hatchet site, we are seeing a lot of progress coming through here. They've practically finished, I'd say, almost 2/3 of it. Still working on the last little bits, but they are getting the geotextile down on that last little percentage there, and they are still coming in with multiple trucks and slowly eking their way towards the back.
Yeah, and it was interesting. They only had the little sliver of road, which we can see there, and then the giant, it's fanned out to that rectangle. And then they purchased the other rectangle there. So now we've seen this little, I'm going to call it a turnabout or what they're going to be doing there. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I would assume some trailers can turn around and everything else.
Yeah, and probably back in to make it easier for forklifts or something possibly to just grab it and let the truck take off.
Yeah, I was curious if maybe they were running into some problems environmental and that's why they did the little turnabout that they did there. Because they own the entire rectangle there now, so it's interesting. But we'll see if they do the whole thing or if it's just going to be that little turnabout area.
Yeah, I mean, you'd almost think that they would just run another strip right here, kind of make just an in and out, right across the front. But I guess they have maybe other plans for this area, or no plans at all.
Yeah, definitely a large area, 15 acres plus, and they can store a bunch of stuff there. We know in the filings they're only going to do this for a month, so this is all they're going to do. They're just going to finish up the layment there with the topsoil or gravel or whatever they're going to do, and then that's going to be it.
Yeah, so likely no building erections. There will be no electricity, no water, no anything necessary.
Yeah, not right now. This is your quintessential gigalot or any other lots that they've just, flattened out and then stabilized a little bit, and that's going to be what it's going to be for now.
And we can see this is the lot that is actually directly across the street from that. And I'm still not 100% sure. Whoops. Not sure exactly what we have going on here, but it almost looks like some kind of a concrete recycle yard, maybe.
Yeah, this is it's kind of a combination of things, but yeah, like you're talking about, it's a dump site, and it's also being used in the front end for Highway 4. I know we've seen a lot of their vehicles parked there,
Right.
and what they're doing for projects. So it's kind of a combination of, hey, we rent out this space from y'all, and also we're going to have some area to dump some unwanteds and riprap or whatever broken up concrete, like you're talking about.
Right. So yeah, we can see a few different areas for processing and drop off storage, etc. And then, of course, like you were saying, we have seen storage of vehicles and product up here in the front as well as on the other side over here.
Yeah, and if people are curious, this is the crazy looking Elon bust, if you will, area. It's also on Google Maps and everything else, so people are wondering that's where that's at.
Yeah, there's the one with the dog on it.
Yep.
And we got another one here. And then there's the bust right there.
And they're building, I believe, to the right there. Oh goodness, Prometheus.
Yeah, Prometheus.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that over here?
Yeah. Yeah. You can see it in the drive by.
Cute. So yeah, we can see the relation to each other. They are literally across the street from each other. Now in another area, we've got the contractor housing as well as a slight look at the Ad Astra school. Only reason why I brought this one up was to kind of show some of the area that is owned by SpaceX and has not been developed. So we were kind of talking about it last week, but I did not have any good pictures to show. So this is the relation of the school to the contractor housing lot. And there's actually a connection that you can walk right along the back and walks right over to the school. Now, this entire area is owned by SpaceX, as well as most of this area, other than I believe it's 4 lots that are in here, like where this house is, and a couple others that are like right up next to this lot. So otherwise, they do own a huge section. So they still have a lot of development opportunities over in here, as well as, you know, up front here. I know this is the only other lot that they don't own at the moment, but just kind of wanted to show that relationship.
Yeah, it's always interesting. They're going to be gaining a lot more here pretty soon as far as acreage. So I'm wondering if they're in this phase of what do we need right now before we get the acreage, and then we can plan out that acreage. And then it's always this combination of, well, we have certain acreage, but can we use it? Is it wetlands? How much do we have to give for credits for that? So it's a combination of entities, and I'm going to guess that that's maybe in that category.
Right, because we do know that they are trying to get like a bunch of this land over on this side of the highway as well, and that's all part of that land swap that we've kind of been talking about for the last 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, they have certain parcels. They have certain parcels next to Massey's. They have next to Ad Astra, the original. All kinds of lands everywhere they're trying to get, and still waiting on just an update on that. Just waiting a update from the judge to make a determination on the injunction that was filed, and otherwisely, once that determination is made, they're good to go. The 30-day period is up, so they're going to start the deed and title handover.
And we're pretty sure there's not going to be any kind of setbacks or anything for that anymore.
What do you mean setbacks? You mean
As far as people causing a commotion about it, basically.
no? This is pretty much it. As soon as the injunction goes through, I mean, they could always do it later, but after the fact is a little bit more challenging to say, well, we would like you to return it to the condition it was once in, which is a more difficult challenge than doing it right now, where you can still say, hey, we would like this not to happen for XYZ habitat environmental reasons.
I like the sound of that. So also while we're here, I thought we'd take a quick look at the little bit that's being developed right next to the school.
Yeah, the field house.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting how this is kind of coming together. Just a couple of the parts are still baffling me a little bit. Basically, why the track has a curb on the inside and outside, and then you've got this other one that's kind of coming in and hard connecting to it that goes across the front of the field house. So, and it'll connect to the back of the track. So yeah, it's just very interesting to me still.
Yeah, not a normal track width. It's got curbs. They can fill in the curbs, to be fair, but it's still not a normal track width of any sort. It's like a walking path sort of situation.
Right.
But then it's around a normal field house, which you would normally have, which is actually quite large. And then it's around what looks like a normal field for a bunch of different things you could do with it. But right now, since we're filling it with the sand, we're going to kind of narrow that down to a few things. So AstroTurf or something to that effect. Still looking for some drainage in there, but otherwise, if that's what they're doing, then it's just a multi-use field with a giant field house with a very small track around it.
I mean, we definitely did see drainage added, as we can see here, but yeah, no, it's a very interesting design and layout of how this is coming together. I mean, the only other thing I would say is very big play area.
Sandbox?
Right, exactly. I mean, that's the only other suggestion from me.
Well, it's better than the beach volleyball concept. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
Sandlot.
You're killing me, Butters.
All right, so let's see if my audio is a little bit better for you guys now. Yeah, other than that, not really much to talk about when it comes to the school. School is in session, so yeah, not much to talk about. I did not see cybersecurity this week. I saw normal police officers. That's a slight interesting difference.
I'm sure they rotate. They're
Yeah.
not going to be the same person every time. So
Yeah, just we saw two, one outside of each entrance last time, so it's just a different change, is all.
well, I'm also not going to try to go figure out their patterns or anything. So I'm
No.
assuming that's what's going on. So
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, not much else to talk about there. We've got the concrete batch plant. Also, not much to talk about here, just work as usual. One of the main things I wanted to show is that the new bits that they're laying down has already made it to here, and we're actually getting very close to Brownsville with this. As you keep going down the road here, you run into the WW Steel lot and the Brown lot and all that, so it's getting very close to at least that portion being finished.
Yeah, the Port Connector Road is just to the right there, as you see in this picture. So that's
Yeah, and I was going to say, I guess with our concrete batch plant, that's going to be very busy again soon when it comes to pouring the pad one flame trench. Obviously, they still got a lot of rebar and embeds to put in at first, but yeah, that's going to get busy within the coming months.
since the rebar's already been started in the trench, it won't be that long.
yeah, it's going to be interesting. A quick shout out to Martin for $2 a pound. $2 a pound. I keep saying that. £2. Saying choo choo. Yeah, they used Kappa last time for the most part for that trench pour. So I'm kind of curious of who they're going to pick and whatever it is. But 57 concrete's right there, so it might as well just use them. They got everything close in. Plus, there's going to be, like we're about to show, the Huddleston site here. So
Yeah, Huddleston site is growing little by little. Get my microphone. Gonna try to get my microphone into a good position here so that I'm speaking directly into it for you guys.
yeah, I'm trying to keep the same setup. I'll be honest. I know different stream setups can change, but I'm keeping like my setup pretty much the same as what it was. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's the way that my video is whenever I run a stream versus host a stream. So I'm just trying to.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm trying to put my mic into the correct position so that's a little bit better for everybody.
Yeah.
So please let me know in the comments if you can hear me a little bit better now or not. So anyways, about Huddleston.
Yeah, Huddleston's a weird site. Started off as just a simple little spare, lot, and they have grown to a massive multi-foundational pile system of what should be an industrial warehouse inventory setup, either, as Darth is going to say, for processing, or, I mean, who knows, Cybertrucks could be parked here.
Yeah, I'm very, very interested to see exactly what gets built here in the end, or what it gets used for.
Yeah, same here. That's like, I look forward to seeing what's going on with this spot for the outside of the outer area. This is like the most excited spot I get. I always go to these ones first because I want to see what they're doing. And I know they're going as fast as they can, but it's like, oh, hurry up. I want to see what this is. Hurry up, hurry up.
Yeah, and the amount of work that they are putting into the foundations and piling and everything just makes it seem like this is going to be a pretty massive building. I mean,
Yes.
go ahead.
Still no tab support, which is weird. Usually we get a tab support like we got for Giga Bay or Starship Park or anything else like that. Haven't got one yet, so that's kind of odd. The other odd part is instead of pulling power from the power lines, which are literally right next to it, they, for what we've seen, have started running that from Sanchez, and they've been running that down basically to this site. So a bit of oddity on both ways of what's going on here.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
I
Because
haven't double checked. I'll go ahead, Evans.
I was gonna say normally you just tap off the power. It's right there. They've done that for Massey's and all of the other sites. So it's very interesting we're not doing that right now.
I'm wondering if it's just something as simple as saving some money. Because I know some places to drop a line off of a main line is $20, $30, $40,000 here just to drop it off. But if you run your own from an already dropped line, it's the cost of running the wire and the labor. So I'm wondering if it's that. But I know it's SpaceX. It's not like they're hurting for money, but or maybe approval to drop the line.
I'm wondering if it's actually to have regulated power, to have a true clean source, if it's going to be coming off those mega packs.
I've considered whether or not they're doing it for automation purposes so that whatever is going on in that factory can be controlled from their office building.
That makes sense. That would, yeah.
So speaking of the electrical that we're seeing being run, this is just outside of Rio West, as you can see, which is just up the way from the Huddleston site. Let's get a slightly better view here. So there we go. We can see the Huddleston site here, and we can see Rio West there. And so we've been seeing them doing this electrical work for a little while now. They were here probably about a month ago, roughly. And so now you can see as they're working their way up, you can see how every little ways they had done some directional boring underneath to connect to a bunch of these. And so you can see they're kind of finishing up.
You can see the vaults as you go along.
Yep. Yep. You can see everything. And they are basically up to here. You can see there's wires right here. Let me go to the other picture. So you can see the electrical lines, all the individual massive lines that are being pulled as of up right through here. So little by little, they're making it over there. Anything to add on that?
I do have a PN What with a $10 of Giggity Choo Choo. We can fire through some questions, but I was kind of just saving them because I'm going to do some rapid fire stuff here. But just as a real quickly, Milton Miller is asking about power from Sanchez means it has battery support, and yeah, this is kind of what Darth was saying, and this is something I was kind of interested about. Is if you're running your power lines, what you also can do is run power back. So if you set up some megapacks at this site and you have your own power lines directly back to the megapacks, you can have a connection between them. So that also allows that to happen. Whereas if you're just directly tapping off of the transmission lines, you won't realistically be able to do that.
Yeah, and it makes sense too to have that backup capability without having to actually add a section for gigapacks over here or megapacks.
Ultra
Yeah, good to see
packs.
some.
Terapacks.
Good to see some of the fresh water lines going in there.
Yeah, there is a lot going in, that's for sure. And they're doing it very quickly. I mean, the size of these foundations, you can see compared to the size of these gentlemen here is pretty stinking massive. They're going to be holding a lot of weight here. We were talking about these back ones being for bays for the trucks coming in and out.
Yeah, definitely is looking more and more that way, especially with the height of those forms.
And again, we can see the size of these squared foundations are very big. Very big. So they're going to be holding a lot of weight. Lots of conduit going in.
Yeah, also curious that that's back site, not front site for conduit.
Very interesting. I mean, it's literally like sitting right on top of all that concrete water store or water drainage pipes that we saw go in.
Yeah, it looks very familiar to with what they did at Star Factory. They have all the electrical on the backside with all the transformers and stuff.
Yeah, we can even see as it's coming in from the front here. And then going all the way to the back and around. Not sure how that is advantageous versus just running it across the front, but that's how they've chosen.
Yeah, I wondered if that's having to do with the Highway 4 stuff that's gonna be happening. They at least running it around the back, they'll have access all the time to it.
Yeah, and maybe they didn't want to dig a massive trench across the front, which would deny access to a lot of vehicles coming in and out. So maybe that's possible.
Few remnants from the storage lot.
Yeah, looks like just the last little bits of leftovers.
Yeah, otherwise just a parking lot and then a setup lot for whatever they're gonna. Well, actually, they're gonna have to clear some more, I would think, to get some setup going. I mean, you think about the beams and everything. I mean, it's effectively like the WW steel lot is, depending how high they go, obviously 3-4 level.
Right. And we're definitely seeing a lot of things starting to be stored here. as well, as we can see with this massive little pile here.
Yeah, I only just realised that there's still a turntable bearing sitting there near the telehandlers. Guess maybe it's got some use for the new design turntables, maybe. That big square pallet thing. Yeah, that's a big old bearing.
Yeah, the fact that they scrapped the rest of it but kept the bearing is interesting.
SpaceX being SpaceX.
I would agree with that, Todd.
Just to keep us guessing.
I would also agree with that statement.
And really quickly, All Four is asking, is it possible to stack the mega packs? I've never seen it done.
I've never seen that done either. I don't believe that it would be fire safe.
Oh, I was thinking, oh, it's funny. I was thinking electrically. That we're talking physically. Yeah, I don't think you would want to physically stack them on top of each other.
Yeah, if you look at the top, you see the circles for the cooling.
Right.
Would not be great.
That's what I mean. You don't want to set a heater on top of something that's pumping out heat.
Yeah, for some reason I was just thinking connecting them together, and I was like, yeah, you sure can do that. Yeah, but physically stacking, no, not really.
And if the one on the bottom decides to catch on fire, then so does the one on top. All right. So we have any more questions?
Well, I'm gonna rapid fire them. These are all from like the Sunday stream,
Sounds good.
and I'll rapid fire through them. I think a little later because there are a lot to do with starships, scenarios, and all that. So
you're saying move on?
yeah, I don't think there's anything pertinent that we're talking about right now. I'll just rapid fire through most of them when we get to that point.
Okie dokie. So speaking of areas with not much going on, we've got Rio West here. Not a whole lot going on. It looks like they're back doing a little bit of work on the windows up here. But otherwise, not really seeing anything happening. Looks like it's garbage day. But yeah, otherwise, they've actually cleared out a lot of the excess things that they had sitting on the sides here. Many of the trailers and other things that have been sitting around are kind of cleared out. The only thing that we see is just everything in this lot, a couple of things here, and not really much going on over here either. So as far as this extension having work done anytime soon, there's not really anything saying that it's happening soon.
No, this is a definite. They were going to do it, and then plans changed as plans do with SpaceX. And I feel like we're just in that waiting period of we're going to do the land exchange. What land will we have? What do we want to do there? What do we need as far as housing for whoever it is we're going to be trying to have here and house here? And I think that's kind of where the stage is right now. Because, like you're talking about, there's nothing stopping them. They have most of that land over there, which didn't stop them from the first phase, if you will. And then the other oddity here is why no grocery store and other kind of convenience store for at least these residents is a bit of a mystery too. And we kind of had the cop out with instead of a restaurant, we got bring your own beer restaurant.
Yeah, it's a interesting idea. I mean, I wonder what they're going to offer, how it's going to work. Is it paid? Is it not paid? Do you get a certain amount for free or like? I have to wonder what the rules are around this place.
If I recall, oh man, I'm gonna mess this up with the Hakuru restaurant. If the guy's account was it was comped except for tip, or the tip was comped except for the bill. I forget. One or the other was kind of comped. Yeah.
Yeah, which that would be the sushi restaurant for people who don't know, right in the back of the village.
Something just occurred to me. When I was in Oklahoma years ago, we used to have to go down there for training all the time. There was a lot of restaurants that were supposedly bring your own beer. It had to do with the state laws and the way it was set up, but you could still buy stuff there. It didn't restrict them totally from selling stuff, but the intent was to bring your own.
Yeah, this is a bit weirder because there's nothing as far as anything set up. It's effectively a fancy break room is the way I would describe it. They have like a pizza oven and a grill and a microwave and then a kind of a nice area you can go out, but and then fridges and stuff like that and but there's no like actual set staff or anything cooking for you at this place. It's a very like fancy break room thing.
Which, what an interesting um, use of money, I guess, because that's pretty expensive to build such an elaborate setup and everything for um, essentially a hangout spot with no employees and no income.
Well, I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious if maybe the idea is later on they could convert it, and so it's already set to go. But
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting prospect.
Yeah, that's
There's nothing
definitely
else. There's nothing else down there to go to unless you go into Brownsville, and what's even in Brownsville is really limited. So they have to provide something for their employees.
well, just to clarify, there is as far as I know, a full kitchen in the Star Factory, and there's a lot of different meal items you can take out of that. Plus, there's pubs and stuff around the area.
Yeah, don't we have? Well, we have what?
collapsed.
We have this one here. Then yes, we also have this one up here. We've got some food trucks and stuff. So there's a couple of options, but yes, if you want to go to like a sit down restaurant, hangout kind of area, get served, etc., there is not much.
I say, in there the cafeteria area in the office building as well.
Yeah, sorry, maybe
Right.
Yeah.
that's what I was talking about. But yeah, there's definitely a full suite in there.
For sure. And then of course, plus
Yeah, and a
we
lot of
have the
companies.
sushi restaurant in the back.
Yeah, and a lot of companies will do a lot of extras to improve, as it's called, quality of life for their employees. And I believe that's what they're doing. We see it here in California a lot with the companies here.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot with like Amazon, Google, IBM, things like that.
Yeah, most of your
Yeah.
tech companies will have all these
Especially with
extras.
especially with this site, they're building everything here. There's nothing here before them, not much. So they need to entice people to come in. They've been enticing families with the fun stuff for the kids to do. They need to keep adding things for people to do so that they can get these employees that they need to fill all these positions they're going to have opening up soon.
Yeah, quick shout out real quick to Yazadov for $10 saying late fee.
Thanks, Shazada. We appreciate that.
And real quick at Real West, I had a question from EV Gizmo. Wasn't Real West supposed to have EV charging as well, or did they just upgrade Sanchez for that?
They actually do have EV charging, at least a little bit. So what I did notice is these are all EV charging ports right here on this side of the apartments, as well as every single one over here on this side. Otherwise, I have not seen, but I would imagine they are probably built into the garage sections of all of these other ones.
Yeah, and if they aren't built in, there'll be options. It won't take much to get them installed.
Yeah, and it would have made sense to just install them while they were putting them in. I mean, come on, if they were going to put these that are exposed to the elements, and cover every single parking space there, I'd almost guarantee you they did it on the inside of every single one of these garages. Now, can we confirm? No. Any SpaceX employees that would like to reach out and let us know, that'd be kind of cool. But until then, it's just speculation station. But again, if they've covered every single exterior parking space, I'd almost bet that they did the interior ones as well. They do have them out front here also. I don't think that they have them on this side nor across the front. But we'd have to double check that with some ground photos. But we can absolutely see them here. Any other questions?
But again, there's Starship related. We can move on.
Okay. Now on the other side of Rio, same goes over here. They were working on these two buildings for a while, and now they have paused. And they are still in a pause and a holding pattern. So we'll just keep watching to see whenever work on this starts up again. But it's almost like this is following suit with Rio West over there, where work is just kind of pausing for a while.
Those are both SpaceX, I assume.
Yes, correct. These are SpaceX owned.
Yeah, I heard you mention. Oh, good.
I was just going to say, a lot of these other buildings were modular units that were brought in and set on top of the base like this. I'm wondering if they're waiting for those modular units to show up. They weren't stick built at all.
I believe the last one or two we saw them build were stick built, but I could be wrong.
I think they might be panel framed.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, not much else to really write home about over in this area. We had seen some work going on over down here, but that has since either finished or paused as well. So again, nothing really else to talk about in this area. Now, as we're talking about stick-built homes, we can run over to the village where we do have some homes that are getting finalized and finished up. We've got this one that is starting to get the exterior finished up. As we can see, it had the green, and they are starting to put the final coating on the outside of this one. We also had two over here that they have got their exterior, this one and this one. So they are working in the interior of these two as well now. And again, as we say, stick built. That's how these are basically put together. And this one's got a ways to go. And then this one is also working on the interior. The top has been finished, and as you can see, the exterior still needs its final coating as well. Same with this one up here. Still needs a final coating. So they're doing a good job really getting these last few houses built up and finished. I think we're probably going to see another one going in here pretty soon, I'd imagine. Sure looks like they've got the site prepped and ready for one. Again, same as these, just a little ways to go. A little more work on the exterior and then finishing up the interior. Yeah, not many more empty sites. Only a couple empty sites left. The other ones, they're kind of being used as parks and things like that. I did just notice, though, when we were here a few minutes ago, that there is some work being done on this building here. You can see a bunch of work going on in the back, as well as like a porta potty and other things across the front. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on there.
Yeah, it's almost like they're going to do a phase 2 here, and I'm kind of curious. They just got some more land up the way, if you will, along Highway 4. Don't foresee them building that way just because of the launch site concerns, but it is curious of where, if anywhere, they're going to try to build next. But it seems like, if anything, it's going to be more towards the Rio West area for their next development, if it's homes or townhomes or anything else.
Oh, so you're talking about up this way a little bit, some of these
Yep.
ones that are on the side of the road.
Yeah, and I'm sure if it's fair market value, I'm sure they'll take it. If it's somebody that wants 10x fair market value, then probably they're going to pass at this point if it's one of those, just because they probably don't have any plans up that way, considering the danger zone, if you will, is already encroach upon the village as it is. So
Right. Other than just banking acreage, basically.
yep.
Yeah, makes sense. So while we're here, we've got the recreation area, and I found it a little curious that they've left this section around the outside unpaved. I mean, this would be easy enough to pave, but this whole section around the back and everything would be a little bit more difficult at this point.
Grass maybe.
Maybe. And speaking of grass, we've got this long little section here that I'm not sure if they're going to make this like maybe a practice putting green, or if this is going to be for like horseshoes or some other thing like that.
Shuttleboard.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly.
Bocce ball.
Yeah, we just got to wait for some lines to go down.
No lines, just balls.
And then same
Yeah, I think
on.
it's.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it's too long for horseshoes. So bocce ball sounds. So we see something else, or like a putting green. One of those two seems the most logical right now.
It is pretty long, that's for sure. It's basically the same length as this basketball court, so it's not a small area. Speaking of the basketball court, we can start to see the coating, the final coating going down. Interesting that they decided to do like a 50% first kind of thing. And we see this one has been turned to green. And this one that is supposed to be blue, I'm not sure what's going on here. At first, I thought maybe it was just like dirty or bags that they put down or something, but it's an interesting color scheme going on there. As with paddle, it's just jet blue, not sky.
Sky cloud blue.
Right. Very interesting choice. It's been this way for 2-3 weeks now, so it doesn't seem like they're quick to redo it or fix it or change it or anything else. As far as this court goes, this was all green at first. Now we're seeing blue in the center and a little bit of gray around the outside now. Not sure if this is going to go all blue as well. If everything's going to go different shades of blue or green and blue, or yeah, it's also a very interesting bit going on here.
Had a quick question as a side note here. Jeffrey Kane asking about why there's no solar panels on any of the houses, and I would add to that why there's none on the Star Factory either.
Very true. And they have kind of talked about doing it for years now and suggested that they are going to, and yet nothing. We have gotten nothing out here.
Tesla has dropped out of the solar business for the most part. Some of those houses were originally solar roof tiles, and that business dried up and didn't work well for them, so they've closed it down, I believe.
Actually, they are reinvigorating the solar side, and they are building a new factory specifically for building panels and things like that.
Roof for flat panels, yes, but not tiles.
Correct, not for the tiles. I think they are still doing the tiles, but it's definitely not a main concern for them. But as far as flat panels, big time. They are, again, creating a new factory for it and everything. So that's going to be taking a massive leap within the next 2 to 3 years. They are, I think it was a quarter megawatt per year is what they're trying to pump out, something like that. Or 250 megawatts. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up.
Well, they want 100 gigawatt a year, if that's what you're asking. But I mean, these are lofty goals, and they're kind of a Elon style of goal.
100%. But yeah, just kind of trying to say basically what they've said that they are working towards. So now, while we are over here, we've got the apartment complex as well. That is looking really close to finished lately. They are starting to get all of the barriers taken down. They're getting stored up against the back here. We can see them all starting to be stored in the back. So they've been taken down all the way across the front and the side now. Most of the back has been taken down as well. Just a few remaining here and there, but yeah, nothing too crazy. They're getting really, really close on this. So as we can see, they are filling in the last bits of concrete across the front. We have got a nice aesthetic set of stairs up in this corner. Really brings this whole area together very beautifully. Got a nice little ramp here in the corner. The front kind of mirrors the same as the Star Factory entrance. And then we've got a nice set of stairs around the front as well here. All of the exterior sidewalk going in, the elevated sidewalk, as well as the lower sidewalk. We can see this one's starting to come close to where the fencing is, where we've got the gates. Over in this corner, we've got a nice set of stairs, as well as just behind here. Oh, it's just off frame. But over in here, we've got a nice ADA ramp as well.
Where?
Yep, not good. Definitely don't see it.
And speaking of wild stuff that just appeared in the chat, is there any evidence that we're seeing any retail in the bottom of the apartment? You thought I was asking. And good day to Alex.
Good day, good day.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we were not seeing retail. as of our last thought, is that these are just going to be lower apartments, basically, or oh boy,
Lobbies.
not lobbies.
Office spaces,
Enterprise
No,
rest spaces.
it's like a leased home, basically,
apartment.
like an apartment, but slightly higher up than
Townhome,
that. Kind of like a townhome.
duplex,
I mean,
That's
they're
video.
star
they're
places.
they're set out kind of like duplexes if you kind of look at it. But it is interesting that you know you have a full glass front with like a rectangular glass door that it's more akin to office spaces.
Or an
Condominiums.
apartment.
Condos, thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for.
That won't help.
I still like my star places, but that's all good. Would work
Star
with Dom saying
places
starplex.
are bright.
Alex, I thought you were getting help on your vacation.
I am trying to head back to California. I'm in the wonderful Cincinnati area right now.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your doors locked.
I'm in a cliche enough apartment. Okay.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Still not seeing these railings finished out. I mean, they've been close for a while now.
Just double checking. We haven't seen anything, any sort of documentation for maybe another building to come to Starbase or something like this to come to Starbase at some point, have we? Or is this all that's planned for now?
No, this was actually planned way long time ago. This was like a year and ahead advance. With this whole Real West thing, they were going to do all of the shopping and all of the grocery stores and everything else, and that just kind of got wiped off. This was stayed from that, and it was a year later they started actually building on it. But we have not seen any other apartments or anything else in the plans yet. They do have, in theory, the land. In the old plots to be able to do something like this. They, of course, could just replat. That's not really a big issue. But in theory, they could do it another one like this.
Yeah, I've been sort of thinking for a little while now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another building like this at some point in the future. I should imagine, Starbase is just going to get even bigger and bigger, and more people are going to start working there.
That's an absolute, and that's kind of what I was thinking with the whole Rio West expansion is why take a break? You know more people are going to be hired. Even if you don't need them,
Yeah.
or you're not going to fill them
Yeah.
right this second, you're going to. So why not just go ahead and get the jump on it and get them done now? Especially
And
while all the contractors and everything are already there. It just would have made sense to me.
even if it's not full, it gives them hiring power to, hey, by the way, we got a house ready for you. No one's lived in it, brand new, just for you to get someone out here who's got a lot of skill or background in what they're looking for. It gives them power to hire.
100%. Same as this
Yeah,
whole
that's a good point.
apartment building. It's just more hiring power. And speaking of other slight changes that we've noticed is actually the ducting has changed colors. I believe we've got a nice reflective coating that has been put on them. So we saw them being red for about, 5 or 6 weeks. And now they are like a nice reflective silver. We're also seeing some work on the air conditioning happening. So we might be getting a lot closer to having some of these apartments actually finished and ready to go pretty soon. We are not seeing a lot of materials being staged over here anymore either. Most everything is getting used. We see a lot of trash getting ready to go out and not much left over here. Everything else is just kind of like, tools and things like that. So, yeah, they're getting right down to the ends of it, especially on the exterior. So, which begs the question, what are they going to do with this area once they're finished with it? Because they won't need these office buildings anymore. And they won't need any of this. So, my thought is that they'll probably finally connect this pathway across the back. But otherwise, I don't know what they're thinking about doing with this area.
Starpipe.
Well, and also remember, they're going to get the little slot of land. I don't know what they're going to do with it right there. Behind. No, it's just slightly up. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, up. Yeah, that way. They're getting that little slot of land. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but that's what they're getting in the land exchange.
Well, this where Star Pipe's supposed to be coming through, right?
Yeah, that's just underground. That shouldn't require maybe
For
some
sure.
sort of access to it, but nothing.
Right, but we will see some kind of work happening over here for the connection, obviously.
Well, I'm expecting them to set up in that area because this is a nice area to set up, and you would have the pipe coming across and then set up to push it underneath the street. That would be my expectation. I don't think they're going to try to run it all the way. Maybe they'll get advantageous and try to do it the entire way, but I'm expecting them to set up right there.
I mean, it only makes sense, especially since this is going to be available relatively soon. All right, so as far as another area here in the village that we like to talk about, we've got Starship Park. Couple of developments this week. Go ahead.
Real quickly, just convert to hydrogen with a $10 Aussie dollaroos, saying good day, late again.
Good day, good day. We appreciate that for sure. And real quick, if you haven't hit that thumbs up down below, please do so. It really helps out the algorithm, helps a lot of more eyeballs see our streams. So we would really appreciate that. And it's totally free. All right. So as far as Starship Park, some changes that we're seeing. We have seen some basically a type of curbing almost starting to go in along the walkways. Curbing / seating, basically.
Or staging.
Yeah, and we know below that there's drainage, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is following the contour very well so far, we've seen.
What's that piece on the pallet there? Is it to go on the end of a run of benches?
Yeah, right there.
That goes right here.
Yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
Oh, I just noticed we're building more concrete blocks.
Oh, right. To the right of there? Yeah.
Yeah, my thought for here was a ticket booth. Entry into Starship Park. But yeah, we've got a decent amount of these little blocks hanging out, getting ready to be put together. And we've got something slightly curious here on the trailer as well.
I was going to say, have we had any more guesses about what the statue might be of?
Sure.
Well, again, we're thinking Starman or possibly Optimus, but Starman, I imagine, is the running favorite.
Kind of reminds me of like a giant Oscar statue. As in the film awards.
Right. It kind of looks like it a little bit, huh? We can definitely tell it's some kind of humanoid figure.
Yeah. I suppose the next flyover probably will get to have a good look at it if they've decided to unwrap it slightly or completely.
I'd almost bet that it's probably standing up by this point, but I'm surprised that we haven't seen pictures of it yet. Because if they stand it up, you're gonna see it from the outside, you know. So I would think that if it's not, well, that would be the reason why we haven't seen it. It just hasn't been stood up yet. Maybe it's sitting in a corner over here waiting, or not really sure.
And I guess, would you fully unwrap it before standing it up, or would you leave it wrapped until that point?
I'd leave it wrapped.
Yeah, I guess that makes more sense.
Do we have a poll? Sorry. I just being smart. It's been a few weeks since I've been on a stream, so you're gonna have to deal with my nonsense.
See, we saw it moving
it's all
pretty
good.
quickly. As you can see, it's already off the trailer and moving, so it moved quick. And got in and on its way very, very fast. But yeah, we're pretty sure this is exactly where it's going. And if it's not there, then possibly here in the middle.
Yeah, I'd suspect more there.
Yeah, other than that, we are seeing another coating going down over this area, which makes me start to think that this is going to be a type of reflecting pool, basically, with, you know, like 3, 4, 5 inches of water in it at all times. And
I'd agree.
maybe that statue is going to be in the center. And if not that statue, then something will be. Would be pretty cool to have a raptor in the center. Also seeing a little bit more concrete going down in these areas. Some more of the drainage being finalized so that we can finish up this section. And we've got one more section here to go. And then I would imagine basically all of the concrete is done. Doesn't look like we have much to go, unless they're planning something out front here that they haven't shown anything about, but maybe. And then I guess, yeah, looks like we're probably going to have some around the outside here as well. Now we also saw work on top. A little bit better there. Looks like a type of insulation is going down, and then a cover over top of that. Now there probably will be one more layer if only a paint type of layer, possibly. But I would imagine that there is definitely something else going to go down over top of this as well.
Yeah, I expect it'll be a non-slip, like pool deck paint.
And that's what I think all these buckets are, is whatever coating is getting ready to go down over this area. We see them cutting boards and insulation and things for the inside underneath as well still. Lots of work still happening here. They were supposed to finish it this month, but it looks like we're probably going to be extended out another month or two.
Well, to be fair, there was supposed to be $13 million worth of work being done.
There's definitely 11 so far for sure.
Oh, you think so? There's 11 here? Okay.
For sure.
That's some huge inflation going on.
Yeah, kind of like those $10,000 hammers,
And where do we have like a poll of where each ship, how many ships, boosters are going to be up in here?
Well, again, running consensus so far is that there is possibly going to be a booster across the front and maybe a ship across the center here, or maybe even standing up in one of these sections. But I think it's a little too small for a stand-up of a ship here, honestly. I think
Yeah, I mean,
I think definitely a horizontal one makes a bit more sense, if at all.
yeah, they could definitely. I was going to say they could definitely have a ship straddling over that pathway and to the building at the back.
Yeah, because I mean, you basically have your stand here at your widest point on both sides, and that could work for holding one, and then just elevate it up a little bit so that it's probably like 10 feet underneath and done. But of course, we're still yet to see what exactly they're going to do. We haven't seen much in the way of services or anything being run into these two sections. We know there is some available. As we can see, there's a little bit here. And let's see. Can't really see this side. I believe it might be right there, but oh, no, there it is. Yeah. So there are services and things run to here, so we'll just have to see how they're utilized. There's another set that's run out the front. We've got another one there. So we've definitely got the ability to power, if necessary, something across the front.
Yeah, I expect a whole bunch of like lights and for display.
Absolutely.
Oh, we finally got the ship site fire test done. It's finally going into Megaway 2. So we won't
Nice.
pick up ship
Whoop,
41.
Yeah, the whole reason I thinking ticket counter here was because we see services coming up in the middle of it. So that was my only thought for why in the world you would need electrical in such a small little area.
Is that a gap in that's going to be in the wall there, or is that just off to the left?
I mean, this was
So
that
you're right,
this was that last little piece to get closed up, basically.
yeah.
Or no,
They have
wait.
two.
I
By
think
the yeah, right by that plywood sheet. I might be seeing things, but yeah, I think there's a bit of a gap there.
That's probably an opening, Jake.
If you zoom in a bit more, Matt. In the rebar, I mean.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
Doorway.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking I might be off here, but since there's a drive way right there behind it, that back area might be for like a dumpster. That's what I'm thinking, where the gap in the wall is, or see how the wall's not solid right there?
I mean, we can see there is an entrance here. So maybe this wall isn't long for this world? Who knows?
Wait. No.
It's concrete. It should be fine.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that would add credibility to the theory of possibly having a dumpster
You mean
area right
concrete?
here.
Concrete?
Yeah.
I mean, there's already a tire there that should be in a dumpster.
Right?
How long ago was the sidewalk on the right side of the wall poured? If that was done like 2, 3 years ago, then it probably doesn't pertain.
Alaska, but by the launch site, they did have that driveway just east of D2, D3 for a couple of years that they finally utilized. They do
Yeah,
crazy
I
things.
understand. I just this Starship Park was not planned 2 or 3 years ago. So if they built that ramp for property there 2, 3 years ago, it may not pertain to what they're doing right now.
But it is highly interesting that this cutout and this unfinished section of wall just happens to be right in front of where that is. So, just something to keep our eye on, basically.
Yeah.
Highly, highly interesting.
So is the water feature up on the one side for the new soggy ship that they're going to put in there? Because it will, since it's been in water this long, it needs to stay in water.
Right? It needs a constant spray of salt water.
Yeah.
This is not a vehicle from antiquities. I don't think steel needs to be hydrated.
Just fermented.
Feels
I
hot
don't-
in the ocean.
If you can ferment stainless steel, you got some mad friggin' skills.
They are
And
actually,
Alchemy 101.
Exactly. Next year, yeah.
Full metal
SpaceX
alchemy.
is actually talking about returning that now.
I mean,
Why wouldn't
do
you?
they ship it with Prime?
I had always assumed that they would just go inside of it and inspect it and then scrap it, but they are actually saying that they're going to bring it back to space.
Now that I'm seeing this, maybe this is just for a light fixture.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, it's the same size cables you have in your ticket booth, but they have two in the ticket booth.
And then we got one here. Just because of the cutout here makes sense for like the raised base that you usually see on an above ground light pole.
Yeah, I'm expecting a couple of large poles and then small, like the canister lights, to go around.
Yeah, but a light post requires a significantly larger footing. Just saying.
I just feel like if those were for lights, we should see a few more than just 2 or 3.
Maybe not lights then? Question mark?
Yeah. That was where I was going with that suggestion.
I say that's where the Tower of Sauron's going to go. It's going to light up the entire site.
There is a curious amount of conduit out here too.
Yeah, I would expect some EV charging stations in that area.
Yeah, I would have thought that they would have put them in the center here, though. But maybe they're just going to put 2 or 3 back here, maybe 4. They have these new shippable charging stations that basically has like the inverter deal right in the middle, and then there's 2 chargers on either side. And they get shipped on a trailer, and then they kind of swing out to have the chargers come out from the center. So maybe that's the idea that will happen here, possibly.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if this really is for the public, most of the public isn't driving EVs still, so they won't need that many at this location.
Yes, but at the same time, a lot of SpaceX fans are also big Tesla fans, and I'm sure if you look at a lot of the launch streams and things like that of the live shots, there's a lot of Teslas driving in and around.
Oh yeah, yeah, not doubting that. I'm just saying most of the general public is still driving gas powered.
Absolutely. Seeing if I can get something real quick here.
Is it gas powered?
Yeah, something like that. Trying for a good picture of those chargers that I was just talking about.
RAM chargers?
Sure. There we go. So shout out to Joe Tetmeyer, who does flyovers of the Tesla factory in Austin multiple times a week. But so this is what I'm talking about here. It's got the bit in the middle, and you've got your 4 plug ports on either side. You can see them right here. So they've been building a whole ton of them lately. So I'm thinking that's possibly what could go in that area. So yeah,
That looks about the right size.
possibly right here. That's my thought
Also,
anyway.
in the middle there, like you were pointing out.
It could happen in the middle. I just did not see them really run much in the way of services. I mean, we see these little ports here, but I'm not sure exactly what they connect to or what they're for. And it's just a curious place to put them. If you were going to be putting chargers in here, you'd bring up your services, from one of these centralized kind of locations. So that's my thought on it.
Doesn't really look like you get many cars in there.
Not at all. It really looks like you're talking about a dozen, roughly.
Yeah, that is pitiful.
Yeah, I mean, you've got probably 3 or 4 here. You'd probably want to put these at an angle, so you're talking, 4 or 5 on either side. And then with your driveway and everything, you'd probably only get maybe. I wouldn't even put any right here, to be quite honest. So yeah, you're talking about a dozen, roughly.
Yeah.
There's a few outside.
Definitely, there's all these outside, and that's the thing. But I just wonder, you've got so many out here. What's the point of adding 10 or 12? Instead of just adding more displays or something. I just don't understand it personally.
Well, back
It's
to your whole
never made sense to
charging.
me to make this a public area either. You're going to have thousands of people like pour on this area in the middle of a construction area or like production site and launch site. It just seems a strange place to put the public.
I mean, in all honesty, that parking lot may be primarily for ADA access,
That's what I was thinking.
and the rest of it will just be Highway 4 access.
Do you think there's any possibility that they will open up the restaurant to be public at this point? Open up this whole area up here.
I think if there's public restrooms on the site, that will be about as good as it gets. I mean, the amount of parking they have there is trivial compared to most Texas rest stops on their freeways.
Yeah, because I mean, they have all this parking here. And I mean, really, you can currently walk into this area. You can walk into this area as well. So why you wouldn't just open it up to public, I'm not sure.
All of that parking along there has been private last time I was down there.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is once this does go public, what would stop them from making this public as well, basically? Because you're going to need more than 10 or 12 spaces, and, even let's say 20, 30 spaces. There's going to be 100 people walking around here at any one time once it's open. That's my thought.
I got the impression that that food service down there was subsidized by SpaceX, so it was one of the reasons it was not open to the public.
I'd bet you, though, that if you asked a few more food trucks if they'd like to make money and set up on these spots, they'd be more than happy.
I don't know if it's worth SpaceX for the hassle with dealing with that.
I mean, that's totally possible as well.
I think
that's why I was. Personally, I always thought they'd just have vending machines at the most.
Yeah. It'll probably be restrooms and vending machines, sort of like most of the rest stops you have on the interstate system.
Get a Coke and a bag of chips.
Yeah, which is basically what we're kind of expecting to be underneath here. Bathrooms and some vending machines. All right. So any questions or anything else we want to go over as far as Starship Park?
Only if we had thought that the floating vessel is going to be placed here at some point, if they make it back.
No. That's my thought on it. I don't see a falling apart ship being put here on display.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
pretty much.
Because they're probably going to put S-20 here.
I'm pretty much in the same boat as you, Matt. I don't think they're going to put that 40.
I think the first cot booster and the first cot ship will go into that thing.
Yeah.
You're going to get crowded if you got.
First cot booster is already waiting to go there.
Yep, and the first cot ship will be here in a few weeks.
I think 40 is going to replace 20, and 41, if it's caught, it will be sliced, diced, and examined, and potentially reflown.
Well, that's what I think 40 is going to have happen. Sliced, diced, and examined.
It's so late to the party, by the time they get all the engineering data from it, 41 will either be caught or otherwise.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, what data can they actually get out of 40, without with it being out in the ocean for so long?
They can still
There-
get all the structural data from the
yeah,
insides.
all the material science of cutting it, chopping it up, and seeing the stresses, seeing how much heating. You look at the crystalline structure of the steel stress. They within the first day or two, they got all the data they needed from the tile. The underlying how it heated the steel underneath the tile is baked into the crystalline structure that they can extract. Whether or not it was sitting banging around in the ocean for 3 weeks, who cares? The stress that would impart into the crystalline structures, the fuselage, is completely different than what would happen from the heating environment reentry. So, yeah.
I think the fact that it's sitting so high still, they probably haven't opened that up. Yeah, the ocean messed up everything external, but like Alex is saying, it's the structure that they want to know, and that's all inside, probably bone dry.
I mean, realistically, their idea of the heat shield being solved could be we catch the vehicle, we strip the entire heat shield off, and we replace it. And their next iteration might be we only replace, 10% of the heat shield.
Or they fly it again.
Yeah, I mean, the heat shield they might view it in the interim, in the short term, as being fully consumable. And
Yeah,
it's more expensive for them to strip and retile than to build an entire new vehicle. And
yeah,
if it's not, yeah. Go on, Darth.
especially considering we've seen them retile a complete ship in under a month. Completely strip and retile. So it's not a big deal if they go
And
that route.
that was before they could do, they were gluing down vast majorities of the heat shield that they've stopped doing.
All right.
And do we have odds on? Do we think this is going to be public or not public? We got any odds on that? Evan
Public.
Waterman was asking.
Public.
Yeah,
And
public.
Can't you open a sports book? I'll start making book if needed.
So yeah,
Giggity.
sounds like public is the winner on that one.
Yeah, they really want to be able to have people get up close to the vehicles without it being a dangerous situation.
They also built some walls to keep people from going into the housing areas from it, and they wouldn't have done that if it wasn't going to be public.
Yep,
Yeah, definitely
basically they've connected everything here for the most part. All the way around the backside here, all the way down to where the gate is. So yes, they have basically blocked it off from the residential side, which adds credibility to the public possibility. All right, so while we know we have Alex here, we might as well go over to his separation unit.
No. Yes, please.
So the bulk of the work's been happening over here. with the cooling tower starting to go up. Would you like to chat about that a little bit, Alex?
Not yet. I mean, they're just setting up the deck for setting the cooling towers, which was it the brown lot. There's the 8 crates, the mystery crates, which I'm pretty sure contain the 4 cooling towers that are going to be installed on
Yeah,
this deck.
I definitely support that, especially after looking at the renders recently.
That would be pretty interesting. And
Yeah.
this is what we're talking about, these crates here. They have
Yes,
been here a long time, though.
about the same amount of time as those pipes that showed up for the connecting the main air compressor to the media filters.
When are we going to get a good gust of wind that comes by and just rips one of these tops off for us?
When it shows up at the launch site.
Yeah. If you go back and take a look at the renders, they're using these V-shaped cooling parts. So it's kind of supported with these crates. That's what's going on top.
And remind me, what do you think's going to be the expected sort of output of this this site when it's up and running? Like, how many tons of prop per day do you reckon they're going to be able to make?
What does the label say? Like about 900 blocks a day?
891. I still disbelieve that on the predication that they're going to try 35 megawatts of power, which would equate to the poorest bad ASU conversion ratio in the history of mankind.
I disagree with that. You should see some of the early Lin numbers when they first were doing the process. Yeah. It's open-ended on what the actual... I think part of the issue is they're using the near zero for the cooling towers for evaporation. They're using like the 100% evaporation loss because it's a fairly sealed system.
And so, yeah, we are seeing this frame starting to go together. We're also seeing some of the cladding pieces being installed. We can see a couple here with holes in the wall for pass through of a couple of the water pipes. We're seeing a couple more cladding pieces over here waiting to go in. And as you were saying, Alex, these are kind of like for blast mitigation, correct?
Exactly. There's going to be a wall of... Because the front wall of this is just going to be clad, essentially, like the rest of the compressor hull. Yeah, like that one. Dude.
And not only that, but we are going to see a wall also going up here as well in front of it.
Yes. Yeah, the whole side facing Highway 4 and the beach is going to have the privacy / blast wall.
Yeah, which we can see goes around most of the site. It does not hit some of these rear sections, but as we can see here, it kind of starts right around here, goes around. This is the beach side, as he was saying. Right here, beach side, and then all across the front as well. We'll see it connect through and across the front here. And wrapping around this cooling section to right around here.
Correct. And the more interesting, closer by is that the direct contact after coolers have finally showed up. Yeah, they're
No. Although I did
Yeah.
figure out
You
in the
need a
ground shot what
reverse
those
angle.
were.
They're
Right.
near the actual tall tower. Right there.
There we go. Yeah, I thought these were the filter housings for the intakes,
Yeah, they are.
aren't they? Yeah.
And right right there is the direct contact for coolers. Whereas they're spraying water into the airstream post the compressors to absorb any water soluble material. So they're essentially sort of a combo water separator slash filter stage.
And so, as far as the intake goes, so these are the intakes that we're talking about. The filters will go inside of them here. We are seeing them connect in through the inside of the building here, and I believe this is where you're talking about those coolers
No,
going, correct, inside?
no, the coolers are post the compressors.
So on the backside.
Yeah, after everything's compressed, before it exits this building, the air is going to pass into those cans,
So,
whereas they're going to spray water into the airstream,
so they're going to be
which will help.
somewhere around in this area then, likely on the backsides.
Correct. There's one of the diagrams that they in the submittals shows them where they sit inside that building. But yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I think both of those covers will be directly above those if we saw everything correctly.
I sent it.
Okay.
Yeah, DM, sorry.
Yep, 1 second.
And while we're waiting, James is asking, how tall is that wall?
This exterior wall?
There was no specification. I'm going to swing a guess that we're talking about the plates that we're putting in there, because the other wall is not very tall. They're going to make a massive wall around the entire site. They haven't done yet, but
is it like 37 feet on one of the callouts or somewhere
yeah,
around there?
I mean it gets up to that area. Yeah.
Yeah, so here we go. So this kind of shows you, here's the air intakes as they come through the wall and into the inside, into the compressors. And then here is where those coolers are that we were talking about, where they are in relation. So basically, like these are kind of where those square pieces on top of the roof were. And we can see that these are kind of just off to the sides of them, basically.
And
So we're
ribeye was
talking roughly right here and right here. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, they're marked in the red boxes. Ribeye was asking, how do they dry the air after they inject water during the filtering?
There's those two absorption columns that look like giant beer kegs. Part of it is the water they're using should be close to freezing. So the amount of water that the airstream can absorb is fairly low. So the colder you get the air, the less water that can be suspended inside that airstream. So yeah, they're just using, it's sort of like your dew point when your air temperature is 40 degrees versus your maximum dew point when it's like 90 degrees. It's substantially different. So they're just using one of those thermodynamic gags to minimize the amount of air. I mean, minimize the amount of water that can be held in that airstream. so that it won't oversaturate the adsorption columns.
All right. Any other questions, dudes?
Oh, I got 1,000 questions. They're not pertaining to this. The only thing else was if they're going to bring in more power for whatever the factory or LNG, if they need that, or ASU. Do we have an ETA on that?
Personally, I
Not that
couldn't tell you.
they'll need more power, but I don't know what the regulatory conditions. Because part of the reason we don't get a lot of submittals for what happens at the launch site, Texas has changed their laws so that certain permits needed for launch sites don't have to be publicly disclosed. That's one of the things that Louisiana put in place as well, so that SpaceX can sort of mask from public disclosure certain permitted work. If that made sense.
Yep, I don't think they actually need more power right now. I think they're good on power. To be honest, I actually think based on the power ratio per ton that they wouldn't use this full max ASU off the bat anyways. So I think we're good on that. But obviously, we're going to need more power in the future as they continue to expand and build more buildings.
Yeah, I think as their launch cadence ramps up, they'll probably be running the ASU at half power before they turn up and have both compressors pathways running at once.
For sure. So one quick pit stop real quick. One of the sites that we did not cover, but we kind of touched on earlier, was a slight off storage site.
Gigawatt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We saw a little bit of work happen here over the last few weeks, and as of, I believe last week, we saw these containers moved in here and a few of these other pieces. We saw part of the crane being stored here until it got put together.
Is the Oshkosh still here? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, they actually used it at some point. They got moved.
Beast. It's the white tractor by the two blue. Yeah, right there is Oshkosh.
Yeah, we're pretty sure that big container-looking building in the back was delivered at the port with the tanks recently.
Interesting.
It seems a wee bit larger than your standard shipping container.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do look pretty big, that's for sure. Or at least this one does.
Yeah, the ones in the back look almost like the standard height.
Yeah, those look like your standard containers.
Right, and this one almost looks like a double.
And taller.
Yeah, it is. It's very reminiscent of the ones sitting at the launch site that they brought in for the VFDs.
Okay. So now the only other spots we have to talk about are all port related. This is about the best picture we've got of the shark tooth,
Shark fin.
shark fin,
It's
snaggletooth, whatever you want to call it.
With
Yeah.
the ITAR clouds.
The SpaceX, the new SpaceX dock area, and the Serotic locations.
Yeah, basically we're just waiting to see something happen with those. This area is right up towards the front. There we can see the work that's being done out here. Sinking all these piles. Making some pretty good progress on that, but still a ways to go. You can see some more piles going in over here. There's a good couple of stacks still waiting around. But last week we were kind of talking about these windmill blades a little bit. We got some great pictures of that really do show where they're being stored as well as kind of the size of them. Because, I mean, if you see, this thing is basically the size of about 3 of these things long, which is just massive. There's a couple spots where they're being stored. This is a little bit further down the way. As you can see, we just kind of round in the corner here. Did also notice some work going on up here with the railing. It looks like they're replacing some of this. Looks like they're actually fixing it and upgrading it to be concreted instead of, as you can see, the old style here. And yeah, as we go around the corner more, just a few more of the buildings and businesses that are going on around some of the different ports. As well as, like I said, a lot more storage of these blades. We can see the scrapping processes going on over here. As we progress down further, we've got scrapping that's going on both sides. Right here we can see where we've got the old JFK being taken apart. We've got another boat behind it that's swiftly coming apart. This one actually sat here for a good couple of months untouched, and then now it is just flying apart. We can see big chunks and sections being cut off and stored and being further processed down here. So it is coming down real fast.
Yeah, considering that one's mostly empty space, not surprising it's coming along quickly.
Very quickly, yeah.
I'm assuming the one on the left there, then will they pull? How did they go about scrapping the bottom of that? Because I know with the JFK they can keep pulling it closer to the land as they get further and further down. But what about this other ship?
I'd almost imagine that maybe they would do that into this open area, or at least one of these, pull it down to one of the open areas, possibly. Or maybe they just got it attached, by multiple points here. And as they cut a section out, they just lift it up onto land and cut it up and then on to the next one.
Yeah, eventually I expect them to drag it into that little channel right below your cursor.
That would be my thought, that you would just swing it around the corner here. But why you wouldn't just bring it in there for the full scrapping, I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe Maybe they need the more longer flat section, possibly.
They probably need to keep cutting off the superstructure so it doesn't sit as low in the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the size of some of these pieces.
Incredible.
An anchor? Or was that something else?
It's not an anchor. I'm not sure
Oh, no.
what
Did
exactly it is, honestly.
Would that be part of the rudder?
Possibly.
Might be, yeah.
Propeller shaft or something.
That too.
Man.
It could be the carrier for the propeller shaft.
Yeah. Wow. So again, a little bit better picture to kind of show the relation of where all this stuff is, right down at the very end of the port here. And the work that's being done with the last remaining few piles hanging out and around. We've got some kind of construction work going on here, which my guess is that might start being the outer portions of this area of the dock, possibly getting ready to go in, and like the tops. Yeah, so again, we can see the relation. This being right down at the very end here. Right here, and then moving our way down. Slowly but surely into the scrapping progress and area. And a little bit past that scrapping area, we've got this area over here where there's a bunch of fishing boats that are stored and for rent. And you can almost see the ocean come into view back here. It's a little too foggy. A little bit better close-up view of all these piles going in, the pile work being finished. Same as these pieces being constructed. They are pretty massive. So it looks like those are probably to sit down over top of the pile sections, I would imagine. So it looks like those will be the top sections of all of this out here.
Yeah, it looks like the dock deck.
Mm-hmm. Got a few round cylindrical somethings. It's a bunch of those heat converters. So now here's the area with our tanks. And we've seen storage tanks, and am I right? These are new this week?
They were dropped off with the
Yeah, go
new
ahead.
tanks and those frames that are at Sanchez.
Yeah, I just don't remember seeing them.
Yeah, these are the frames I think BJ thinks that they might use to assemble the bridge cranes on top of the girders.
Ah.
Yeah, they were in the KSE flyover.
Yeah.
Well, we've got 4. That makes sense.
Mhm.
And we've got this frame as well. This mystery frame going on here. Which the only thing that I did notice here is that we have some kind of like eyelets here for the attachment of something. Something that could swing or move.
Yeah, I thought I had a good idea about what this might be, but I'm not too sure anymore. Yeah.
They're on both sides. They've got holes through them to slide a pin in.
Do they line up with the turntables for the horizontal transport cradles?
I mean, that
They-
could be a good use for them.
Yep.
As I was
They will
saying,
need
they sure
probably
do
need a
look like
rigid
a
structure, but
like a trailer.
it probably would need a
Yeah,
rigid
what-
structure between the dollies.
Because yeah, I'm sure one of those turntables does sit slightly higher than the other.
They do. And the cradles are offset.
Maybe I will stick with my speculation about this then. About it being a spine of some kind for the horizontal transport.
Yeah, it's very possible.
All right,
Especially
It'll probably
with
be
the
exactly. It'll probably be the same way that they moved the shuttle external tank.
keep chatting and I will be back in just a second.
yeah, that's what I've been seriously thinking about because nothing else really makes sense at this point for this type of frame.
Well, the sides are capped and the fronts are all capped on the box tubing, so I guess it's as big as that bottom frame will get, and maybe they'll just add another. Or maybe they'll
I
add
guess.
the top piece at the end on the other side, but extend it maybe.
Oh, yeah, I wonder if there'll need to be another one then. I wonder if this is a booster only one and there'll need to be one for ship. Or if the turntables are basically going to be the same for both type of vehicle.
I think the turntables themselves are going to be the same. It's just the cradles, which I still think we might be seeing a ship one at Roberts Road.
Yeah, I'm interested, with those cradles because obviously they'd be used for the actual breakover maneuver. How they go about transferring the vehicles on those cradles onto this from the breakover base, the breakover
Right.
maneuver base.
Because we know the booster will use that big black horseshoe looking one that's sitting next to Mega Bay 2, and most
Yeah.
likely that's all it will need. The ship, on the other hand, there's a gray
Mm,
frame being built at Roberts Road that I have suspicion might be with
yeah.
that.
See, if there was two big bridge cranes either side in the transfer aisles in the gigabays, I would have said they could have used two of those bridge cranes together to lift the cradles on the vehicles up off the breakover maneuver base and then onto this spine. But I mean, what we're seeing so far, it seems like there's going to just be one bridge crane per side. So I'm interested to see how they go about that
It's
transfer.
it's gonna work a lot like the transfer tube, how they break that over. So the aft cradle will rotate. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you can have, obviously, the bridge crane will hold on to, I guess, the forward of each vehicle, but then how do you get the aft end off that breakover maneuver base? If there's only one
They'll
bridge
have
crane
the
per side in Gigabay.
right, but they'll have the height to lift it off the aft cradle once it's vertical.
I'm talking more going the other way, actually going from the vertical down to the horizontal, and then getting it off that base, with the cradle obviously still attached to the vehicle.
Yeah, it's just going to be the reverse. The
That-
cradle doesn't need to leave the vehicle.
That chassis structure could actually be upside down too.
That's what I
And-
was thinking.
And then you'd actually have the pins would be like a low loader, so you'd have the pins would actually be sunken in on each end, and the axles would be on top of this upper end,
Right,
upside down,
right.
basically. So I sent you a pic, Matt, if you can maybe show that in Patreon Lounge.
And a quick shout out to Space Watcher 01 for $5, saying thanks for all y'all do.
All right, let's see that picture here.
So you got dollies at each end, and then like in rigid, the yellow piece would be the rigid piece between them, and then obviously it's backwards because that cradle would be at the aft section, but
Yeah, and we've
And then
seen
if
the
it's-
forward. We've seen a forward and aft cradle. So
yeah, it'd probably be one at each end, or
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch how this progresses.
because then otherwise you're relying on the rigid body of the booster to be the link between the dollies, and I guess that's not. You don't want to be applying pressure to the, or I guess you don't want to
Yeah,
be
what I see
using
is-
the booster as the spine.
right, and what I see is there'll be a trailer, one of the K-25s at each end of this thing. And the booster or ship will be sitting on the cradles, which will rotate whenever they make turns. So the ship and booster will never. They'll always keep their straight line, even when the trailers are turning around corners. Until
Yeah, like
the aft
like
catches
transporting
them.
windmill fins on the railway.
I just can't wait to
Correct.
see what kind of axles and wheels they're going to run on this thing. I mean, it's got to be something like this because, you know, you go up here and you look at these ones on the SPMT and it's just like, yeah, no.
Matt, those are what they're going to put under that.
Yeah.
These ones, the small ones?
Those are the trailers. They're
Those
going to
hold-
put one on each end.
Those are definitely able to do the job.
Yes, they are.
Can you stop destroying my dreams? I want to see heavy duty.
We're not doing monster truck transport, man.
Come on, please.
No.
Oh,
We're shortcutting over the dunes.
right.
Just stick a tank underneath each end.
Yes, please. Fury Road, here we come.
Right?
All right, so next to this area, we've got this lot, which SpaceX is starting to use for storage a little bit.
I was just about to ask, do you reckon they're starting to use that tent now, or have they not got access to it? Is it still being used by something else?
It's probably
Well, you can
being
rent-
used by something else.
You can rent
But-
space in it.
Yeah.
But do they need to? I doubt it.
No, and like I said previously, I think this is just temporary until the hatchet site comes online.
For sure. I mean, it's not like they don't have space for this little bit of stuff either. I mean, currently they definitely do have space for it on their multiple lots, but that would really push things to slightly frustrating. So I can understand why you would want to put it, off site. But once the rest of that steel goes away, especially like at the brown lot, we've got all that huge cladding area and stuff like that that will probably be going away relatively quickly. So there's space starting to open up pretty soon. So as we were talking about the scrapping process of a couple of these ships, we could see this up close and personal here. Some of these big monster pieces that have been cut off of this ship and brought down here for further processing. We can see just big, massive sections being taken out. I think we were saying we think that this was a automotive ship
That's what
transport.
it really. That's what it
That's
really looks like. All the ramps,
roll on, roll off.
Mm,
right?
mm-hmm.
A row ship.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I couldn't bring myself to say the Kiwi.
I used those a lot back in the day. I used to import cars from Japan and sell them over here in the States. And so this is exactly how they would come in.
Yeah.
Reliable
Deep
Corolla,
water,
was it?
deep water ferry.
Yeah, there's a couple of videos that you can see. I believe one of them is from the old show, either engineering or one of those, but it shows a really cool walk around of one of these ships, and it is just so impressive. The size, the coordination of the employees and stuff like that is just, it's on another level. So if you're interested in anything like that, definitely look it up. It's pretty incredible to see. Same as some of these sites that we talk about, like the scrapping sites as well as the LNG plant and stuff. The amount of coordination and stuff that goes into such a massive undertaking is just absolutely impressive.
Yeah, I can't tell if that's Anima Max size railroad. I may or may not have had family who worked in logistics in the canal zone, so there's that.
Nice. And as we can see some of the scrapping up close, we see everything gets torn down to bare minimum. As we can see, each one of these areas has been completely cleaned out or is in the process of. Getting down to the last little bits on this level here. Man, it's impressive. So yeah, lots of up close pictures. For anybody who's a YouTube member or Patreon member, feel free to go through these as you'd like. If you want to see any more depth and detail, you can see a cut line here where they're getting ready to take out a couple more big, massive sections.
All those round circles in the bow are weird.
In the very front there.
Yeah, all of those in that segment.
Those are called speed holes.
Is it like Swiss cheese or is it? I'm kidding.
Right. I mean, honestly, I would imagine that some of them will be access for different types of pipes, air pipes, water pipes, etc. And then, as far as like electrical, all that kind of stuff, access, for being able to get things in and out for maintenance and stuff. So if there's a pump or something underneath here, I'd imagine that's possibly one reason for these, as well as honestly, I know the speed hole thing was a joke, but it could be to also lessen weight in areas where they're just not needed.
It all checks out. I just like to believe there's like steel mice that are just eating little cat toys. Don't take me seriously, please.
In another world.
Where the mice eat steel.
Very cool.
And quick shout out, real quickly. We had a PayPal donation from James JWB for $10.76, saying keep up the consistent quality of photos and coverage streams. They're very much appreciated.
We will be sure to do that. Thank you so much. More scrap just getting loaded up for transport. More ships being torn down little by little. All right, and off to our last location.
Is that? Oh, sorry.
Now go ahead.
I was going to say that's what you'd refer to as a well deck on that ship there, isn't it? Or is that something else I'm seeing there? A big open
Yeah,
area.
that looks like a well deck. Looks like
Yeah,
an old amphibious.
That back end opens.
Yeah, that whole thing is a door, basically.
See, I'd love to have, I know it's probably kind of ridiculous, but I'd love to have seen Ship 40 recovered in a well deck like this. But I don't think there's anything that is quite big enough for a ship. Fit a whole starship up the stage in there.
I think that's what a lot of us wanted to see, was something like this and have it slide up on there. All right, so back to the Rio Grande LNG. And the almost punishingly difficult task of seeing what's changed this week.
Yes.
Something I did notice.
Just one?
Well, we have been watching the progress of the piles as far as our third tank going here, and it looks like we are getting extremely close here, with just a little bit left to go around this area. But not only that, we've got piles started for the fourth one, which I didn't think they were going to do until they got this one kind of going and stuff, because I thought they were going to use this area for, well, as we see, some of the materials for this third one. But looks like they're just going to go ahead and get started with the fourth one.
What's the little bump out on the third one that's a little bit deeper, that's full of water? Yeah, right there. Do we have a opposite angle of the existing tanks that shows that section? Perhaps? Question mark.
This week, no.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll go back to previous.
But dudes, do you have any insight on that possibility?
No, that almost looks like a mistake, but I'm sure it's intentional. So
No, dudes, they're not SpaceX. They don't just have all.
right.
But yeah, as far as I know, these do not have anything like that. I don't remember seeing anything anyway.
Is that just a dewatering pond, and that they're just using that during this section? Because I mean, obviously the tank's gonna go there. So, oh, there's piles back there.
I was about
Or
to
something.
say
There's
maybe,
piles in it.
but
Yeah.
there's piles. We have seen this starting to be dug out and get it started. There is another one here in between these two tanks. We'll see another one in the back as well. Piles up front for something, not sure what. Looks like possibly another building might be going in here as per the shape and cutout. Well, we can see that they have extended this train of piping all the way over here so that it will be able to be hooked up to these two tanks once they're up and going. We can see the beginnings of it for this first tank, as well as getting a little bit closer for the second tank as well. And I mean, other than that, yes, there is work here and there.
I just really want to see fire from these.
You're telling me. Yeah, we're getting a little bit farther with this one. We're starting to get some of the concrete down around the exterior of the base. Getting closer and closer to having this third one done. We'll get everything piped in and connected. As we can see, the second one isn't connected just yet. Looks like the first one might be. Second one still needs connected. Third one still needs built.
So how much is it going to cost us to get a night flight just to see this when it's on fire? Because I'm in.
I mean, will Sapphire Cam show them?
That's a good question.
I
can't wait.
Yeah.
Really, what we need to know is how to be notified when it's getting ready to happen.
Event dudes, that's your area. Write them a letter that's saying that for we need to know due to some sort of a good reason that you can come up with because you're just a smart guy, not us. So go for it. Let us know.
Well, we've talked about this before, but they're supposed to do their first gas at the end of the year, so it should be between now and the end of the year. So whenever the gas gets put in, they're still kind of building the gas line, so we kind of need to have that finished first. So
yeah.
Do we contact Jumping Jack Flash? I know, that's a terrible joke.
Wow.
It's a gas.
Somebody needs to put you on time.
Yeah.
What you just said.
You can fire me.
At least you're not on YouTube or anything embarrassing for the future. Oh, wait. Never mind.
That's as bad as me thinking that Todd should move to Two Guns, Arizona. But yeah.
All right, so moving on from that train wreck, speaking of trains.
I know, you're not getting out that easily. But yeah, that's great.
Well, we've got a lot more progress coming on here. We're starting to see these two buildings going up here, and we can actually see as they go up, we can see a little bit of what they're going to look like as they start to become more finished.
Except what's hiding in them.
Yeah. Here's them being even more finished down here, getting roofs on and everything. So we can see trains in multiple stages of finality. This one being the first, so it is the closest to being finished. This one being the next in line. Then this
And
one.
then we expect early next year is that they're going to start commissioning these.
Well, the train one's supposed to be done and producing, and their first shipment out first half next year, and first gas tests for, I don't know what the commission on that, just as well as this gas is the end of this year.
Yeah, that stuff, Matt, is very interesting. They're setting up there.
Yeah, it's curiously devoid of anything around it, basically. It almost seems like it's just being plumbed into the earth.
Part of me thinks it's part of the metering from the main feed pipelines, but that's just really, really, really reaching.
Could it be pig insert spots where they put in the pigs to clean the lines? The ones above it seem kind of like that, but I don't know.
Eggs. Those make a ruckus when they go through the pipelines.
Oh yeah, we've heard them here. There's an underground pipeline not far from where my house was, and we'd be out in the field shooting it, and man, you knew when they were doing that because it was just like shaking the ground, noisy, and that was underground.
Right. Yeah, the vibration and
wild.
everything else is crazy.
I mean, it's it's on the right side of the site if it were that. To come in here first before hitting anything else, but at the same time, you'd almost think it would kind of come up here with some of the control equipment. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but now the car clouds are being in.
Well, I guess the site does kind of work from this side, though, huh? So we've got trains, then storage, and this is where all of your pickup and everything's going to happen. So I guess it would make sense to have intake down here, huh?
Seems like it. And we need to know more on how it works and which way. But yeah, I mean, that sure seems logical. And I don't know what kind of cleaning they do in a site like this, or is it just automatically cleaned before it comes in? I don't know, but I know that it looks similar to where I've seen pigs go in the field where I'm at for big underground transmission lines. I can't see them not wanting to clean their stuff every once in a while, but I don't know.
It definitely does look like the end of the pipeline. You would recover or send those out, as well as like the metering operations and such.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I guess the pipeline is coming down from the. Excuse me. It is coming down from this end, and so to come in here into some of these bigger pipes And then what looks like basically almost goes down to some smaller pipes and other pumps, etc. down here, and it looks like basically smaller and smaller. So makes sense.
As they get closer to being finished with this area, we'll be able to tell more about what it could be or what it is. If that's it, it'll become obvious.
Well, plus once we see the pipeline come in. Speaking of, what is this? Maybe municipal water?
Stuff and things.
Because I could have
Right.
swore pipeline is still way over in this direction.
Yeah.
It's not
We'd have
like anywhere close to being there yet. Is that right, dudes?
Yeah, we're still waiting on the finalize of that connection. In fact, they were hooking up a backup connection they were not even considering because there's two large pipelines running through there. So I'm
yeah.
not sure. Yeah, go ahead.
The Rio Bravo is, I think, supplying this site, and the burner off of the Valley Crossing is the second one that they've started hooking up currently, I believe. Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that probably a year and a half ago, there was some evidence of where there were running the supply pipelines, but yeah. Okay, that makes the airport site look tidy.
I was just thinking about what does this notebook look like? Okay, so where's that one part at? Flip page after page after page. Good Lord. Unreal. And we know every tent is full as well, you know?
I mean,
And this is
you
just a
know,
little bitty area
I love to see their inventory control system, but
of this whole entire
yeah, but
craziness.
I'm a nerd like that, so don't judge me too hard, please.
Yeah, it's literally incredible when you start looking at it.
Logistics doesn't make sense to me. Gas laws and thermodynamics, yeah, that makes sense, but logistics, oh heck no.
There is just so much to it. I mean, look at all the pipes. Look at all the pipes. Yeah.
And there's some guy that you can walk up and say, "What's this?" and he can tell you exactly where it goes, what it does, what it's been from,
I
when
mean,
it was installed,
look
and
at all
anything
the
else you might.
pipes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yo, it's a pipe, yo.
Yo, I heard you like pipes.
What's crazy though is like each of these trains is probably slightly unique, which, yeah.
And they almost seem like they are too, because whenever you start looking at them, they are slightly positioned differently as well.
Changes are the bane of long-term maintenance issues. Snowflakes. Cattle, not pets. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I was actually lining these up earlier, and how some of these sections are laid out just from these two next to each other, and there are slight variations just between these two, even. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, in a previous life for data centers, for massive compute clusters, if somebody manually went in and did anything on a computer, it would, as soon as they logged out, it would immediately be queued to be reprovisioned and basically burnt down to the ground and the operation installed, because for stability of computer systems, everything has to be standardized. And if somebody has to go in and manually adjust things, well, that needs to be captured in the configuration code and managed appropriately. So everything needs to be cattle and not pack.
It's unreal. We can still see more conduit and wiring and stuff being run still. We've seen all that come up from the top here. We can see they all come from this building. That's a long, long, long run. All the way down the site. Which we can see is, I mean, we're talking over a mile for sure. Massive, massive, massive.
Yeah, what's going to be fun is looking at one of these trains when SpaceX starts to build their liquefaction plant, seeing the scaled down version that they're going to have for the volume of they're going to be dealing with. Granted, SpaceX is going to be purifying it slightly to tighter specification as this plant, but overall it's going to be pretty much the same.
So there's a nice little view that dude's just put up for us. You can get a bit of a good idea of where everything's going to be.
Yeah, so this is a map they continuously publish. I think this is 2021 or 2022. So obviously things have changed around, like the switch yard for where the electricity and everything's coming in. So I was just putting this out because they have possibilities of what things are, and they're pretty accurate in a lot of the cases on their map. So,
Dudes, I'm a simple folk. I like just the moat that they have surrounding the site.
I mean, that's what I was trying to do. Just, hey, here's a moat. This is cool looking.
Right. I mean,
There's also this, but
yeah, we all can understand a moat. Okay.
Does it really say moat somewhere? That would be great. Levee.
no.
Just levee.
Yeah. Don't call it a moat.
Boring.
Right?
That's because they haven't stuck the alligators in it yet.
Hall Road over moat.
We'll see you later for alligators.
Well, the levee is the wall that they built around the thing, right? When you drive past that place, that big wall, all the way up around it.
Mm-hmm.
That's to keep the water from coming in a hurricane.
Yeah.
Or the alligators and
Oh, here we go. Slop storage.
Slop.
The alligators are cheaper than the security guys.
So alligators will see you later, and crocodiles Never. Sorry.
Okay, sorry, but that was worse than mine.
I mean,
well, Crocodile.
yeah, dad jokes are strong, and it's really bad when you can't even land a dad joke. So I should mute myself for a few minutes. Okay, I got Matt. So success.
Right. All right. So, yeah, that basically wraps up everything for tonight. Unless we've got any more questions or
Oh, we have
things
like a
we
whole
want to
show
go
to
over.
go yet.
Let's
Oh
do,
yeah, we got like a whole show. Yeah.
let's
Well,
crush it
let's-
out.
Okay. Well, let's start with the fact that Texas LNG has started their construction. I don't know if you have that
Whoa,
picture.
whoa. No, that's been like 5 years, dude. No,
No.
can't.
They've started. There's some machinery. I saw it. It was a long range shot. I've seen it.
I
My
do
own
not
eyes.
have the picture.
You don't have one of those long range pictures? It would be showing like the end of Rio Grande LNG, maybe.
I can't believe we're going to see evidence of Texas LNG before we
We
start.
may not. let's stop the cart before the horses run away.
Okay, I'll
No.
pump some brakes.
No. It'd be like Rio Grande. It'd be the end of it.
Nope, I don't.
Really?
Okay.
Well,
Just
I guess you don't
patch.
get. Wait a minute. Did you at least download the one that has the star pipe in it?
Star Pippy. Probably not. I don't know.
Oh God.
What? Now, hold on. Now, where were these at?
So the star pipe. It was one photo. It was showing. It was shooting down. It was shooting down towards the a long shot towards Star Factory.
Matt, you actually shared it online on screen.
Get
in the
out
last
of
show.
town.
Get out of
You have
town.
it.
Whoa. Be nice
Yeah.
to Andy here, Matt.
Hold on a minute.
Hold up.
Hey.
Okay. Well, while we're finding that, I'll just kind of do it via the visualizations
Yeah.
through the sound of my voice here.
Send it in Patreon Lounge. Whoever
Oh,
gets it first.
Well, good luck to y'all. Benjamin DUDUU has asked 17 times now, what's the progress of the pipeline for methane to Starbase? And pending that we get this photo, I'll just describe it to you in case we don't get it. So what's happened right now is absolutely nothing, except we have a photo. And in this photo, they have cleared the land slightly, and they just took off the top layer of the vegetation. You can clearly see the delineation in the land of where they have done this. And they were supposed to have started about a month ago and actually have done things, but that's the only inclination that we have of the actual pipeline being put in right now is one photo, and it's cleared of land, and we have some tracks on this land that are outside of it as well. So if you imagine like tracks in water, and then you have land that's cleared in vegetation, that's what we have as far as that's going on. Now, the secondary question was, do you ever see a situation where methane production is done in situ using the Sabatier process?
Oh, sorry. That's a bit dramatic.
And to translate that, Alex has said, hell no, apparently.
Yes, I did. And I will
and just to translate, the reason we're not doing that is because there is an insane amount of electricity to use in that, and you're getting basically nothing out of it for using that process, and there's just no reason to do it. So basically the answer to that question is no.
Yeah. I mean, less than, was it 30 parts per million CO2 in that atmosphere? Yeah, the amount of gas you need to pump through to start getting CO2 to kickstart that process is insane. And that's the technical term.
And we're going to transition a little bit while y'all find those photos, if you find the photo. I'm banking on you may or may not find them. To Starship stuff. Starship stuff, we had several bajillions of questions on this show and on the Sunday show. And we'll just start off with Ziggy asking, is it true that I'll be able to hear sonic boom to the ship of west coast of Florida?
And the weather.
West Coast, highly unlikely.
Oh. I'm sure there could be a very extreme atmospheric condition that would allow it, but snowball.
Yeah, to go all the way across the state, I highly doubt that.
And I'll add to that, if they're coming in for an entry for the Starship itself, and they still happen to be, for whatever reason, in that area, which I don't think they would be, you might be able to hear that one. The booster, no, but the ship itself, if for some reason it'd be a very low level kind of rumble, almost like a jet going over, if anything.
The ship, unlikely, because the ship essentially it sheds all its forward momentum and falls like a rock from.
Are we ignoring that the ships will land in Florida too?
No, even in Florida, Alaska, because if we look at the trajectories from any of the Indian Ocean ones, it essentially falls like a rock from around
Okay, yeah.
70 or 80,000 feet. It does not have that much forward momentum at that point. Okay, dudes, why is that pipe enclosed that Matt's showing us right now?
Oh, so apparently we have discovered what's inside of the magic door, and that is a pipe. So,
What is
Ta-da!
the magic door? Did they make it disappear, or what kind of magic contraction?
Isn't that the fill gauge?
Exactly. Oh, so there's
Could
a
be.
little bubble float in that, Alaska?
that'd be even worse. Why would you cover up the fuel gauge?
Well, it just however much water is in that clear pipe is how much fluid is in the tank.
And I mean, I'm a bit disturbed because they are trying to distract us with that ladder. And back in the day, it was Thomas, is water bottles and ladders is worth that. Never mind.
And following up with the questions of Starship, do we think when do we think that the first launch will be at 39A? And that's from Ziggy. And I'm also going to tie that into this other question from Digacat. Any thoughts on the L-39 launch will coincide with NASA's Max Power? Max Power, great name, by the way. Or would that be too risky with all the attention on KSC that weekend?
C or KSC?
That's happening the weekend of November 7th and 8th. They'd be pushing it, considering the current status of Starship. Just saying.
Max Power, the name of one of the greatest UK car magazines.
Oh, I was thinking Simpsons, but yeah, that's good too.
Max Power, which I'm familiar with. Car was my favorite Birch car magazine.
It was a good one.
Max Power. So we'll talk about this offline, Matt.
All right. And moving on again, we have Stephen Lewis asking a slew of questions on Sunday's show. Will they build HLS?
Our factory.
All right.
Yeah,
And second question, which ships will fly on Artemis 3 and 4?
All of them.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
It will be ship. And then there'll be probably a 2-digit number behind the S. And we haven't seen the nose cone yet in the nose cone hole.
Yeah, just too far out for us to even try to guess. Unless we're just having fun.
And another one, which starship will do the test lunar landing before Artemis 4? Anybody guessing?
Yes.
All right.
I'm with
Todd.
69. 69. Skip 69.
All right. We got a 69.
Void.
And continuing on, SpaceX built the original Star Factory at Reynolds Road. Sort of. Why aren't they using that?
They are using it.
They are. It was converted to Dragon processing.
Yep.
I suppose that Falcon operations spool down completely in the future, they probably will go back
That's
to, well,
what.
they'll probably use the entirety of that for Starship stuff and later on down the line.
Yeah, I've been speculating those two new buildings they're building there at Roberts Road are so they can start using that building again because it's currently being used as the bakery for Starship. So I think they want to get the rest of the building back for Starship operations.
All right, and moving on, Nate the Great is asked on this show and on the Sunday show, do you think that S-441 will be caught? Do you feel the chopsticks will be accurate enough and fast enough to catch it? Also, do you think ship is accurate enough? Where would the ship go if it aborted last second?
If aborted last second, will go into the ground. Sorry.
I'll go with the beach.
And
I'm going with the ground. Perhaps might be
fa-
water.
and fast enough and accurate enough with the chopsticks, yes. And with the ship, yes.
Yeah, I don't think the chopsticks are going to. They're slewing. They're going to have to slew that much. I think the vehicle's going to slide in.
Well, and they have done a lot of work lately on making sure that those chopsticks are lighter and faster. So I
Stronger.
think, yeah, I think that's going to be no problem there. And I believe that the ship has proven time and again now that it can hit its mark based on the video and drones location that we've seen whenever those ships come down the Indian Ocean. I think it's, yeah, I don't think we're going to have an issue there.
Yeah,
Did-
we've seen
$6 million
we've seen
chopsticks.
yeah, we've seen 4 straight soft splashdowns. So they know what they're doing with the ship landings at this point.
Perfectly on target as well.
My only concern, yes, they're on target. Yes, they've been soft splashdowns, but when you watch them, the last second, they're still coming vertical. They're swinging around the tail end, and if you're doing that when you try to catch it, now maybe I would love to see a slow hover to a land and not the transition land, because I mean the last one it was going back and forth when it touched that water. It was not perfectly vertical. That's what makes me nervous, but hopefully they can.
The only portion that needs to be stationary in space, Todd, are the 2 catch points. The body of it can be pivoting and swinging and dancing, but as long as those 2 pivot points, the catch points, are hit the rails, we're all good.
Yeah, we saw with the boosters, they still did a pendulum swing even after landing. So that's not a big issue.
2 other things that go towards that as well that I think might affect it is the fact that currently I think they're just trying to hit a broad area, instead of hitting an exact like inch, basically.
Right.
And they're also hitting at exactly sea level versus they're going to be, how high up in the air whenever they try to land on the chopsticks. So I think those 2 factors might also come into the landing as well.
The mat like a broad area, like the broad side of a barn?
Something like that.
Okay, just checking.
You know that thing that your dad would yell at you when you were a kid? You
No,
throw
my dad would yell at me because I couldn't hold the flashlight right. And I still start. Darn it. I'm going to be sulky in the corner crying for a little bit. Thanks, Matt.
My pleasure.
Good.
All right, and transitioning to the other part of this show, we have about 100 questions about the status, situation, and otherwisely the condition of S40. And we'll just go as well with Nate the Great saying, looking at the pics of S40, do you think what do you think happened to the flaps, and do you think it's doing great for being in the water for a month?
It's doing spectacular for being in the water for a month. I mean, it's still floating high. I think the waves and the bumpers that they had on there is what did most of the damage. But I mean, I'm happy as heck to see that it made it to Christmas Island.
I mean,
I was going to go ahead.
throw,
Alex.
throw a log in the ocean for 3 weeks, and it's going to look rough. It's going to look worse than the ship did. I'm just saying. This ship looks spectacular, and the tiles are, like I said before, I don't feel they're that concerned about the ones that were ripped off from the or dragging, and the ship really wasn't designed to have stability while floating in the ocean. So, yeah, it looks great.
And Matt, did you download the? Well, one, did you get the picture? And two, did you download the ship map?
Picture.
Jake, go ahead.
Picture.
No, that's fine. We can move on now.
Pictures in Patreon Lounge, unless you got it already.
I see some of the ship that you sent.
No, in Patreon Lounge. Did you show this photo? I was reading questions.
Sorry, Patreon Lounge. Oh, that one. Okay, 1 second.
Apparently no. And if you download the HTML browser for the ship.
I did. And I will open it. Just 1 second here.
All good.
Let me get that picture. We were 518. Oh boy. It's in here somewhere. There it is.
Oh boy.
All right, so this is the line we wanted to show here.
I think I did a good job of describing it.
Yeah.
Door pipe.
So we can see apartment building. We've got the factory here. And this is where we were saying that the pipe's going to come through. And you can basically see the line pretty much of where it's going to come through. And we saw a little bit of clearing happening.
Yep, and that is the current status of Starpipe.
Ta-da!
I did throw in really quickly Texas LNG, if you can see some vehicles there. It's completely pointless because we need to see some actual work, and it's been 6 years or 5 years in the making of them doing filings and all of they're doing. And effectively, when they're done, they should have the capacitance of around 4 to 5 million tons a year versus one train at the Rio Grande LNG, which would be doing 6.
Just saying,
Hey,
it's a very
Okay, and we're just gonna speed through this real quick. Okay. Hey, this is the first shot. There was the shot, and then there's the first time that the Ranger had met up, and we can see in the back of the Ranger there that has the Yokohama fenders. Okay, next. Hey, great. And now we have the Yokohama fenders. They're actually been deployed here, and you have to see the little beacon on the back. It's going to have the leader line as well, and it looked like a submarine to me, but that was obviously not. This is the fenders. Yep, next.
Breathe, bro.
And this is the ship that was actually in the picture. I thought they were actually towing at this point, but they were just attaching the little leader line to it. And this is actually going to be important later on because we'll see the leader line that's going to be attached to the Raptor engine that we're going to be seeing a little bit later. And that's what they're actually towing with it in a second and later on.
Micro machines is not the real thing.
Don't stop them. This is great. Let them go.
What kind of fenders are like this?
To be fair, if you haven't seen this, we did do the 30-minute version of this a couple weeks back. I was going to recap for y'all. We do see here in this little thing, we have a little rescue boat that's in the water there, I believe. And then we have, actually, this is the first time that Skimmer Tide has showed up. Skimmer Tide has left the picture, by the way. And again, we see a better picture of now the Yokohama fenders that are in the water there.
Do you do the blurbs at the end of political commercials?
No, you're thinking the drug or the health ones that all the side effects are going on. So here's the craziest. This is the craziest picture ever.
And it causes death, right?
Yes. So this is actually this is Skimmer Tide, and Skimmer Tide. You can see the actual line in this. This is the first time we've seen it because most of the time the line's going to be below the water, and it's just pulling it via that little leader line that we saw with a little light on it, and it's doing it via the engine. So this is the first test, the first everything they ever did with the towing of this particular S-40 ship in the water. And again, this was way back August 2nd. This is how far back we are, which is why I was speeding through this. This is a much clearer version of, again, this is the skimmer tide. This is not the Ranger, which is very awkward how this all transitions itself. But again, the same very, very long line, which they did later on. But this is the first example of this. Hey, we're doing great. Now, what has happened is, just to speed up everybody else, they have transitioned in this particular thing to the fenders that are now on. This is the Ranger, not the skimmer anymore. Skimmer is pieced out, and we are now doing the close-in tow with the fenders that ultimately would damage the ship. Next. And again, this is just another angle. You can see the fenders there, the little brown circles around. At this point in time, the ship is looking great because there is no storm or anything that has happened to it, and it's just chilling, and the waters are calm and everything else. And this is the last photo, I believe, of Skimmer Tide saying its peace out messages. And this is when it has left the party. And this is just them messing around with the lengthening of the tow line. I highlighted that in Photoshop just to show it off. And then we still have the leader line and all the fenders as well, still on the ship at this point. And the little dinghies outside. Alrighty, so we have skipped way ahead. There has been a storm, there's weather, they have mucked about. Ranger was trying to pull its might all down to Dampier. They abandoned that plan. They have decided to go up at this particular point, and they were going up to Christmas Island. And this is the first time we saw it after the storm, everything else, and the ship is worse for wear. It no longer has the fenders on it, and it's, you know, not looking so great. It's got like a white stripe on it. Everything else is, it's been through some stuff at this point.
Stuff.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get to see, so I'm just explaining, generalizing. Again, this is basically just day after day shots, still saying the same kind of thing. It's being pulled. They do this little zigzag pattern just to kind of line it up and get it correctly towed behind. We also see Gull Australis do the zigzag pattern, which I'm pretty sure now we can understand that it was collecting debris off the ship because a lot of debris had been falling off of it, including some flap debris. And another shot, and again, same kind of clarity, same kind of situation where we have this off axis, if you will, shot from the Ranger. It's not towing it directly behind; it's kind of doing it at the zigzag pattern as it gets back and forth with it. Much calmer waters at this particular point in time, and we are well on our way to Christmas Island. This was an interesting deviation. So Ranger said, I'm going to peace out. You just chill there. I'm going to check out the island. And I believe we have had a confirmation that, I forget the guy's name. I'm going to say Justin. I don't know if that's it. From SpaceX was on the Ranger. Yeah, and he was peacing out apparently to go check out the island. And this was the Ranger peacing out without the ship behind it, and it just zoomed over here. This is kind of a day trip for it. And this is the island itself. We can also see in this picture that there is effectively no big crane up. They do have a crawler crane. It's hard to tell. The tower crane is up. That's actually a grain mill. The tower crane is up. It's actually next to it in this picture. You can also see it on Google Maps. But the crawler crane, the CC-2200, is not up in this picture. That was the important detail, that they were not actually setting that up at this point in time. Even though, if in theory it could lift the ship out of it, there was nothing set up at this point in time. Alrighty, and then obviously Ranger has returned to do the towing again, and we have now what we know is that setup, it's on the Raptor here, and they're just towing it as it is. Again, and this is kind of a sideways angle shot, and this is a good clear example of what we see later on of the tiles already missing. It looked like they maybe tried to strap because it's right next to the catch points there. You can see that white part there. It is listing to that one side, and it had been for quite some time. Obviously, some water or something in that side to bias that side of the ship. And boom, bada bing, we have made it all the way to Christmas Island. Both the ships are chilling out next to each other. You can see all of the fenders in the back there, pretty clear. The ship is in the the harbor, if you will. This is actually right next to the fueling dock, so it's kind of interesting. We'll see what's going to end up happening here. This is just a pit stop, as SpaceX has said. Effectively, they are probably going to be doing some preliminary inspections and seeing if they can get a semi-submersible over here to pick up the ship, and or some method to get it on a barge to barge it back. If that's what they want to do, I personally believe that this is a hedging their bets because they have so much invested PR-wise and emotional-wise from people that they want to keep this ship as a just in case 41 doesn't do so hot. And yep, this is the Lamapper. You can put the wind on for more effect if you want. Yeah, we got options.
God, the wind is so crazy.
You can kind of see there how crazy that wind was, and that's pretty much what deviated them from ever trying to get to Dampier. And at that point, they had so much damage and everything else, they kind of just went for the closest port, and that at that point was going to be Christmas Island because they're really trying here. They're going towards Dampier at this point, and it was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this to Dampier. Girl Australia said, see you later. He comes back later, don't worry. And this is where we did this curious little jet up thing, and we're no longer going towards Dampier. They're like, oh no, the storm's coming, the wind's coming, and everything else. Okay, we're just going to be counter to the wind a little bit. It's like, oh well, maybe let's try going down there a little bit. And it's like, okay, yeah, we're definitely going to do that, right? And so everybody's left. It's just Norman Ranger with the ship at this particular point. This is going to exponentially slow down your PC because of the distance gap that it's now loading. We went from 4x to like 1x because of how giant this is.
Good thing I got a 5080.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could see Australia starting to come into view here in the corner.
Yep. Yeah, this is definitely a pit stop. I was really hoping on this particular thing. They're like, okay, we knew the fenders weren't working, and we're going to get some actual equipment here. But nope, they just did some pit stop real quick.
Now we're in help me mode.
Yeah, this is it. Norman trying to fight these massive winds and waves and everything coming at it. So it's like, okay.
Then it starts going backwards even.
Yep. It was getting pushed around pretty heavily. 24 knot winds right there. Yeah, it's getting smacked around. So
don't worry, buddy. Yep. I'm coming.
Skimmer tide would be no more. Oh, I did not set it to autofocus, so you would have to like do the manual just because of what's happening next. But
I'm drifting away.
Eric Fraser with the important questions of who you calling a little dinghy.
All right, so now we've met up. Deciding a game plan.
Yeah, and I feel like the zigzags here, you can actually you have to turn the smart zoom off to do that. Sorry, the little blue check mark. Yeah, now you can zoom in. I feel like the zigzag from Girl Australia is it picking up debris from the ship. But we're definitely on the way to Christmas Islands at this point. I mean, Let's Go Australia is bored at this point because I'm not seeing what else it would be doing other than trying to search down debris.
Captain was drunk.
Well, I feel like a lot of these are just autopilot, to be fair. I mean, maybe there's a captain at the helm the whole time. I just feel it's like an autopilot deal.
Oh, look, see how fast I can go? Yeah, look at me. I'm over here. Now I'm over there.
Yep. So this is where they dropped off the ship. They're like, you got it, buddy? Yeah, I got it, buddy. Okay, I'll see you later.
We need food.
Yeah, right.
Going over here.
quick lunch break. Now coming back.
It was. I think I timed it at 5 hours, so it was really not that long. They did not have a lot of time to drop off a person or whatever else come back. So, and you can see the drift that it went
Big
to the
time.
west there. So, yeah. And that was only like about 36 hours or so. So. I'm so glad this worked, by the way. I literally put this in 5 minutes before the show, and I didn't have time to test it.
Nice. Well, good job.
Yep. So now I don't know
Well
what I
done, dude.
plan on doing later, but I guess we can track the boats or whatever's going to happen to the ship. So we'll see if they bring it back to Dampier, if they're just going to load it up here. There is several large semi-submersibles in the area. I don't know if they would use the largest one that is currently in Singapore. There is one that is in Tasmania that may come over here that we've been looking at, or they could do a lot of other different plans.
I think that should be your next job, just to track all those, just to see what, because we'll be able to tell once it gets heading that way which one it is, if that's the route they go, or yeah. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, unless somebody's doing a fake out. The first semi-submersible to head in the general direction of Christmas Island, then we're going to say it's that one.
Strike!
Really nice. I love that whole program you've made there. It's really cool.
Yeah, we can show the wind on now. It's
very,
not too
very
crazy at this
impressive.
level. The wind at this level is fine. It's nice and calming. Yeah. I only did that block because otherwise you would crash PCs and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's like stars. It's like your stars in the sky. And then when you zoom all the way in, it becomes like raining stars.
It's like an old Windows screensaver. Especially whenever it gets real hard. There you go.
Yep, it did fine. We'll see what happens. But yeah, if anybody else has any guesses or what they and see, we can also. I don't know if I sent you the SpaceX things if you want to look at the close-ups. I don't know if you downloaded those.
The other pictures.
Yeah, it was right next to this thing.
Yeah, 1 second.
But I'd say for how many days it's been at sea, it's salt water and everything else, it's done a pretty good job. It's just kind of depending on. I didn't think they would actually do this much. Honestly, they have the most of the data. The only thing that's left is they can get inside and look and investigate a little bit inside. It's not going to tell them much, but maybe tell them a little bit of the inside configuration of what's happened.
There's a lot of data to be gained from the inside. Because even though the outside's been battered, the inside should still be pretty pristine.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like an air crash, you know. If you can salvage as much of the fuselage as possible, you can rebuild it in a hangar, and tells you a lot more. So when you've actually got an intact thing, it's even better.
Yep. And just to clarify, I know a lot of people are thinking that that's not the flap. That's just that's where the fender was at.
Yeah, darn Yokohamas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The flap is actually below. You can see the actuator there. I don't know how much is left of it, considering the other one doesn't have that much left. No, I mean, you can see the top. There's a metal pin below. Well, that one too, but the actuator is, yep, that thing, the strut. Yep.
Yeah.
So, may or may not be a lot left. This is them at sea. I was going to try to time date this back, but you can tell, the kind of roughness that they were dealing with. And they already had taken the fenders off at this point. You can also see the close-up fenders on the back of the Ranger here, too.
Doesn't look like anything left.
No.
I mean, unless they removed it.
Yeah.
Look at that sea state, man. Like, look what they were fighting with.
Yep.
That is wild. For the ship to survive that kind of sea state, it's very impressive. Without the fenders, anyway, without the floaties.
Yeah, they had a bridle system on those fenders, and that was what's rubbing and doing and messing with the ship like that. So they decided, we're just going to go back to the Raptor engine and just tow it that way.
Yeah. Staying buoyant, so you may as well.
Okay, I mean, there you go. That kind of tells you. There's one on that side. There is nothing on that side. I mean, it's just not there.
Shark got it.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah, and there should be a lot of people. Like, they came out of the woodworks yesterday because, I mean, there's nothing going on that island anyway, so there should be a lot of photography and everything while it's in the port there.
Yeah, rigid. So it's such a rigid body. It's a lot stronger than you think it is.
So,
yeah, well, it's
go
yeah.
ahead.
I'm thinking they had a strap there at some point. Is why that was off there. We can see it because
Yeah.
it wasn't there before the storm. It was there after the storm because we had about a period of 4 or 5 days where there was clouds and storms and stuff. We didn't get any photos of it. So that's my guess of what would cause that, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. So what particular thing? Yeah. So some sort of strap or something. And it's kind of weird. Had the skimmer just kept pulling it, albeit probably couldn't do it. I mean, it would have been, clear of the storm possibly, or at least close to the dampier.
Yeah, I mean, golly. That's a lot of damage.
Yep. Fortunately, they didn't care about that. They already had super high resolution photos and inspection of all of that for days and days. They had that before. Because remember, the Go Australias was with the S40 for the longest time before the Ranger actually showed up.
For sure. Man, it's in surprisingly good shape.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I
Yeah, I
know
mean,
there's speculation of rolling,
look how straight along those tiles. I mean, you could shoot an arrow along that. It's just
yeah,
there's no deformation or oil canning or anything. It's just
yeah, and just based on everything we've seen, I don't think it actually ever rolled. It very could have easily done so because of the way they were pulling it and everything else. But I guess I would expect more damage to it if had it done that. But yeah.
I love that photo. It's so good.
The sad part is, several things. One, this is either a media guy or somebody that hopped on the Ranger, because this was not the Go Australia's ship, obviously. Which means that they have all kinds of oodles of photos in the storms and everything else. That this is what they chose 3 photos, sorry, 2 photos, I guess, because the other 2, yeah, to share. So they have all kinds of stuff they could actually share.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe
Wow.
we get a documentary.
That
Maybe
would
it's
be a
worthy of a
documentary in itself.
We're getting so backed up in these documentaries. I mean, like they need to start pumping these things out. There's so many topics. They're behind so many flights and so many tests and so many critical. I mean, oh my goodness, they have a whole documentary on just the test tanks that they're doing to Massey's.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Any more topics or questions to cover?
I have knocked out all the questions from Sunday and today. I believe I hit everybody up. I'm believing I have rapidly gone through the state of S40 and everything else that was supposed to be going on. I think we're good.
Yeah, you micro machined straight through the boat process. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, again, there is a longer version of that on the 2 weeks ago show that we did, but there's no reason to repeat all of that nonsense because it's the same thing. So,
absolutely. All right. Anything else anybody else wants to touch on?
Nope.
Hey, there's an answer. All right. I will take it by that silence that we are finished. So Really appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Dudes, as always, for your just immense amount of knowledge on all of these topics and external sites and everything. It's just completely invaluable. So thank you very much.
No, you're welcome. Should be a lot more. Like we said, and we keep saying every week, there should be a lot of things going on. We have the entire port being built, Rio Grande LNG. The SpaceX docks is somehow at some point going to do. Saronic's going to start building their stuff. We already saw Texas LNG that's going to be doing their stuff. The star pipe better be star piping at some point, and then of course we're going to have to attach that to something on the liquefaction plant. So we're going to have that. There's all kind of regulatory where we should be by next week. We should see Massey's start clearing for their land swap. This judge probably should rule on this injunction pretty soon, so we're going to see that. I'm still watching the case about the owners claiming the fact that the sonic booms and the vibrations have destroyed their homes and everything else. That might just get dismissed here pretty soon. Nothing going on there. I'm watching for documents and stuff like that. Of course, we have KSC, all kinds of oodles and boodles of stuff going on there. We can start comparing stuff for Roberts Road and this one. So a lot of stuff coming up and a lot of stuff to go.
Yeah, definitely. And I recommend everybody keep an eye out for tomorrow's flyover, because there have been a lot of changes since Friday or Thursday, whatever the last flyover was. So we might even be seeing a ship at Massey's tomorrow, because we do have a planned rollout tonight.
I like that idea. Give me ships, give me boosters, give me testing, give me launches. All right, and especially Lawrence, who just piped in there for a second. We appreciate you being here and helping out.
As always, and I look forward to seeing those who can join us in the morning for the flyover. I'll be your host for one of them.
And I'll thank Jake, who we had for just a little while there. And Todd as well for piping in and adding to the conversation. Appreciate you.
Oh, always my pleasure, man. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, and so let's see. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so we have a flyover tomorrow, correct? What time is that at, Lawrence?
1 p.m. Central Standard Time, Starbase time.
All right, and then we will be doing a show and tell as well. Well, let's see. I'm looking
That's
at
tomorrow.
well, I'm looking at the time, and it looks like it is 11 a.m. Central Time for the flyover. That's currently what the what it's saying on the schedule, anyway. So just trying.
Okay.
Just want to be 100% sure. And then it looks like we have a show and tell same night, and that is going to be 6 p.m. Central. So look forward to that as well. After that, I believe we will have our normal flyover, or let's see, our weekly hasn't been scheduled yet, but very likely we're going to run that on our Sunday, our typical Sunday. So look forward to that one as well. So until then, guys, we'll see you next time. Love, peace, and chopstick rail grease.